What do we got going on? Sorry I was so late, guys. I'll wait for this to pop, actually, before I even try to explain anything at all. Let's see. Alrighty, now I'm up on the screen. Everyone can see me and hear me all right? Let's see. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. I think we can see everyone. So, real quick, let me get these two quick super chats. GN for the $20. Thank you so much for that, man. It says, defense brief does not challenge identity or the confessions at this juncture, so proceeding to trial, in my opinion. Defense efforts to knock out aggravating circumstance will not succeed in your opinion. So remains DP case. Yeah, absolutely. Probably. We're going to read through every single one of these files, though, and see what Candace Owens ends up saying. So, yeah, I have a feeling she's going to not even come close to covering all of them. I bet it's like a page or two or a couple of segments out of multiple pages. We'll see what happens. We'll see how far it goes. Pat the Plumber for $10, though, says, one for the goal. Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Sorry, guys, I am late. My kids were covered head to toe in mud, so I had the pleasure of completely spraying them off with the cold water hose. Although it didn't do too much to them because it is 102 degrees outside. And it's hot. And it's like that every single day this week, except for Friday, which goes up to 103. It is miserable. So, you know, they got into all the mud and stuff like that, and then I had to spray them all off before they could come into the house. But yeah, it's miserable outside, guys. Holy crap, you guys are going crazy. So GN for $20 says, I'm inexperienced. I am experienced? Anyway, sorry. Defense team admitting it is hard-pressed to defend facts proving crime and will directs primary efforts and resources towards potential death penalty punishment defense. Yeah, I think they're probably more worried about just getting rid of the death penalty at this point. I think they saw the evidence come out and they realized their goose is cooked. And right now it's just, hey, look, I think what they're doing is moving into a plea deal. And that's actually... Guys, do you know what's going to end up happening if this goes to a plea deal, right? What do you think happens? I'll let you guys guess what happens. I'll read off and see what you guys guess what's going to happen. Because I know exactly what's going to happen. Pat the Plumber for $10 says 2 for the goal. Let's go. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who all's in here, guys. I got 134 people apparently to possibly name off. Depends on who all's in the chat here. I mainly read off chat, not just people who's in here because, well, it doesn't always show everybody that's in here either when I go to participants. So there's that. Anyway, Texas Motherbird, we got Rick Jackson, we got Stargazer, we got Pat the Plumber, we have Susan Lloyd, we have Jujubee, we have Judy Juris, we have Love My Aussie, we have Lori Matthews, Susan. Oh, I said Susan already. But hello again. Better Tomorrow, we have let's see. Innels. Heck yeah. We have CC Bingham. We've got Too Easy B. We got SK. We have Maria. Observing Chaos. Sherry Rose. The Destroyer. Paula. All these names, and then it's just The Destroyer, Jujubee, and Sherry Rose, Observing Chaos, and then Paula. I don't know why. It just came down to that note right there. Wendy. It's like destruction, death, Paula. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm thinking here. Shadows. We have Diane, The Whole Truth. Boston Chris. Skipped all the way to the bottom. I'm Shy too. Jared. Front Butt Man. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm reading that right. Okay. Nurse Terrivening. There we go. Judith Bailey. MBV. Mother Earth. Appalachian Sparrow. TD Hampton. All right, I think I got most people. It kind of skipped down to the bottom. We have Tracy, Jay Coolier. I think that's pretty much there. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for the super chats already. Holy crap, that's really early for that. That's crazy. Thank you guys. Y'all are amazing. Man, we are growing like crazy. Things are just changing. And I'm also wanting to expand out a bit more on a lot of this. But it's really difficult too because I have a very, very tight schedule. And it's kind of interesting because I'm like, my wings are getting ready to spread and fly, but I got a job that I also have to maintain for now too, because it's like the channel and the job are kind of, it's getting closer to where I could quit. But at the same time, the whole thing about this, let me see what you guys were saying about what'll happen. Hopefully you're already trolls. Hope your weekend's coming up. Oh, thank you so much for that. And the wife's doing fantastic too. It's hot though. It's really, really hot. SK from Finland. Heck yeah, man. Love me Helsinki, Finland. One of these days I will be able to visit there. He gets life in prison and Candace will lose her mind. You're pretty close. Candace won't necessarily lose her mind. This is best case scenario for Candace Owens. Best case scenario is if he takes a plea deal. And if he takes a plea deal, she will be like they silenced him. They're putting him in there against his will. No one's going to come out and say anything. Unless, of course, his parents come out and make a statement. Or unless, of course, like, I don't know, who else could come out? Would it just have to be his parents? I don't think so. His defense attorneys could come out and give a statement too and say, hey, look, this is the way it went. This is exactly what we needed to have happen. But she may say that the defense attorneys are in on it. You know? They're crazy leftists, so I don't know. I don't know how she'll spin that because she's trying to defend the left, but at the same time, she could still use them as a crutch to make people believe her. But I think a plea deal will end up ultimately giving Candace Owens a lot of... it'll give her at a bare minimum a soft landing. Let's say worst case scenario, she gets a soft landing. Because very few people will unsubscribe. You know what I mean? And I think people will come to their senses because at some point, you know, she's going to take this way, way, way too far while everyone else moves on after the trial. So I think more people will kind of kick out from under her, but she's going to retain a lot of people. That's not good. You know what I mean? That's the worst case scenario for her. Best case scenario, nobody leaves and she gains an audience still and keeps this live and well because she could spin it just like the whole Brian Kohberger case, right? Which now Brian Kohberger has come out and he's rescinded his guilty plea. If Tyler Robinson ever did that in court for an appeal, that would be crazy. Crazy. And I'm really terrified that that could happen because they did the plea deal. Death penalty probably ends up coming off the table completely again. And now he can argue for his innocence. And maybe there's no risk to a death penalty. I don't know. Maybe they bring the death penalty back, but maybe they don't. And now he can fight, and there really is no consequence. Worst case scenario, he's where he's at. Best case scenario, he may get years knocked off or get out. So, you know, you never know what could really happen. You know what I mean? Could be pretty freaky. Let's see here. We got Debbie Rock for $2 saying Candace will induce labor to get out of the debate. Yeah, probably. Probably. The whole truth for $2 says Tyler Robinson could fire his lawyers if they were in on it. That is true. That is very, very true. You know, but I don't think that'll stop Candace Owens for a second. That's just going to be annoying because it's going to be tempting, but I think after the trial, I will do very, very, very minimal Candace Owens coverage, if any at all. I don't even know yet. I may just end up deciding, hey, after the trial, it's just off limits now. It's done. Ruling's in. I have nothing else to prove or claim or anything. It's over. And ignoring her at that point in time will probably actually be the best. But it depends on how vicious attacks may be getting. If she's causing a bunch of, like, Terry's to go out and start attacking TPUSA, that stuff like that I'm going to still cover because that's a crime. You know what I mean? And it would do good to bring awareness and be like, hey, this needs to be shamed publicly. People shouldn't be doing things like that. You know, those will be the instances that I would still cover it, most likely, after this trial takes place. Megan's post-menopause says for $36. Oh, thank you. Candace's incurable yeast infection asked me to send you this and said to tell you to use it to buy a clue. Okay. I will say, buy a clue. Well, I'll definitely try to buy a clue. Sure. I don't know if your clues, though, is like a... You're not going to have me buy, like, a sample, are you? Because I'd really rather not have one of those sitting around, growing. I don't know if I like where this clue is headed. Oh, thank you so much for that, though. That is very, very funny. I really appreciate it. Man, okay, guys. This is crazy, you know? This is crazy. You all know that, so, starting tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be hosting, Paramount Tactical's channel. So I'm going to be there live with Jen, and, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to, you're telling me to buy a Blue's Clue, duh. Oh man, I have 2 kids and I still don't, I try not to watch Blue's Clues. Shows like that get on my nerves. I don't know why. The kids love them though, so I'm just like, meh. But yeah, I don't watch Blue's Clues. Candace Owens, I guess, really got into it for. Oh boy, that's I don't know. Other kids shows though, like Teen Titans and Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. That's some fun stuff. That's some fun stuff. I can't wait till the kids get into that. Kyrie already kind of likes Dragon Ball, but there is you can't show kids season 1. You just can't do that. Too many adult themes. It was definitely TV-14 back in the day, for sure. Like not that it was rated that back in the day, but by today's standards, for sure, TV-14. Kind of Family Guy-ish. And then Dragon Ball Z went all the way down to like regular just PG. And now Dragon Ball Super is back up to like that PG-14 just for cussing, not for anything too crazy, to be honest. But yeah. Go on Jake's lives and bring it up. He will notice and tell Andrew. What's that? Huh. But yeah, I'll be hosting and special thanks to Gary for sure and Jen. Like that's awesome. They didn't have to do that, but they're allowing me to do it anyway, which is kind of crazy. So I'll figure out what we're watching and what we're going to go over on tomorrow. But Friday, well, that's the debate day. That's going to be crazy. And I'm kind of freaking out. So, we'll see. But we're going to be watching us some Andrew and Candace Owens debate. Isn't that going to be nuts? Yeah. That's, we'll see how all that goes. We'll see how all that goes. The Whole Truth for $2 says, I'll be on Paramount Tactical in 2 hours discussing Tyler Robinson filing. Heck yeah. I'll send people on over your way. After this live stream, I'll definitely point you guys over onto Paramount Tactical's channel because no matter what. So, yeah. Because, least I could do for sure if I'm going to go on the show too. And also, you're on there. So it'll be a double whammy. Heck yeah. Definitely glad to see that, man. Just for a quick check, looking forward. Heck yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that for sure. Is it with Jared? Is Jared doing it today? I think. I've been busy today. I've been out in the yard. I've been cutting away all this brush and stuff. It's shaping up. We'll say that. It's definitely shaping up. It's a lot of work. And it's too hot outside. Way too hot. Holy cow, dude. Whoa, Megan. For the $100 bill. Yo. That is crazy. Thank you very much for that. Candace said you're an idiom, but I think she meant idiot, so you'll need more money for your clue. She hates you, Arnie. Wait, did she say something about me? Hold on, did I miss something? Is Candace Owens talking about me right now? For real? That'd be hilarious. There's no way. Like, what in the world would she have to say about me at the moment? Um. Oh my god, people are dumb. Why are people so dumb? I don't understand. Okay. That is just crazy. Um, let's see. Hey, thank you. Thank you to Jay Phantom here. Man, that's awesome. That's a very nice thing for him to say. Heck yeah. Okay, where's Candace Owens? Let's see. Did she say anything about me here? Okay, officially bumping my show today because I'm realizing it would be a total mistake for me to do my show on this recent defense filing when we are less than 2 days away from the great debate. I, of course, have a lot to say about it, as always, but forcing myself to stay mum on it until me and Andrew come face-to-face on Friday. Please appreciate how difficult it is for me to exercise this level of restraint as the usual suspects get put on the typical 4K HD theater. Oh, it's just so tough on me. Oh, I feel so bad, Candace. I only have to go to work in a freaking factory, and my wife has to lift 450-pound people all day long in the hospital. Oh, we feel so bad for you, Candace. Anyway, sorry, I'm looking through this, Megan. Where's it at? And also, thank you, thank you so much for that 100. Like, oh my god, man. Like, thank you. Genuinely, I'm just blown away. Holy cow. Man, I'm at a loss of words. Yeah, the filing absolutely destroyed her. So I guess she's not doing her show today? Oh well, we'll find other things to watch. We actually have a couple things we can catch up on. For sure. So, yeah, look, purple airplane. Look over there, the aliens did it. Exactly. Alrighty. I support Candace Owens, 2028 America First. Third party is here. Why do you keep mentioning the third party? We get it. We understand. Are you just a bot? I'm gonna look. Because you keep posting the exact same message every single time. You know that, right? Let's see. Go to channel. 7 subscribers made February 16th, 2026. All right. And your image, is that an image of oh, multipass. Yep. That's the image in what's it called with Chris Rock? It's Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. In Fifth Element. Fifth Element. You got a Fifth Element picture. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize you were a bot. We're done with that. I don't need a bot just constantly spamming chat with the same message every single time I go live. That's annoying. Oh well. I thought that was a real person for a bit. But once I clicked open I should have showed you guys. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me, can I still go to channel activity? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Just gonna pull this up right here. Okay, this is how many viewers and views and everything we got right now, live right here. So, this is, I support Candace Owens, third party here. Just all the same constant stuff over and over and over again. It doesn't go for that far back. But it's just constant of the same garbage every single chat. Just like that is just a straight up bot. I guess we won't get this. We can find many other things here to cover. Let's see here. I'm actually curious as to what a few other people have been up to as well. Third party with Marjorie Taylor Greene, yeah. They're gonna try and pull off leftists, Oh, my name's not Archie. Candace is incurable. Yeast infection. Actually, I guess it's technically not Artie ever. Never mind. Well, you fixing to have me literally defend my own fake name. It's not even my name. So dumb. Let's see. Oh, you're also Megan. Okay, same account. Gotcha. I was wondering if it was a bit of a coincidence that you had that name and also, all that. That's hilarious. They're very two peas in a pod for sure. For sure. MTG has wanted the presidency since the day she walked out. It wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me at all if she tried to run for president. She would be definitely a 3% like candidate for sure. Yeah. Am I Native American? I'm only half. I'm half white, half native. So I still get my privilege. I have at least 50% of it. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm half Irish. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, so let's go over this document, huh? We got all this. Let's read what Sarah Fields had to say first, and then when she says bumping her show, though, like she could give a date. Like, is she not streaming now until Monday? Roger, or you could just stop the charade and admit you've been wrong. Many will forgive you. People make mistakes. Man, look at Bronson being a good guy and giving her an out. But this person, Candace didn't make a mistake, though. She concocted this whole conspiracy-esque show on purpose to destroy people she wanted revenge on. Yeah, I'd say that's a mistake, too. I will never forgive her. Look, I'm not gonna... none of us are personally affected by Candace Owens. So... If it wouldn't be my place to hold a grudge, you know what I mean? That's more of Erica Kirk's department. If Erica Kirk wants to forgive her, that's fine. If not, whatever. I'm not going to hold a grudge myself because Candace Owens has not done any monetary damage or anything like that to me personally. So I feel like that's just not my place. You know what I mean? I could not like what Candace did, for sure. And I don't like what Candace did at all. Don't like it at all. But, at the same time, it's just really kind of, I'm not going to hold on to that, I'm not going to hold on to anger when I'm not personally affected by it per se, you know what I mean? That's kind of a waste of time. I like to be happy. I like to be a happy guy as much as possible. It's a lot more fun that way, you know what I mean? Even in worse situations, you got to try and figure your way out, and just keep going one step at a time. Let's see. I will not forgive her. I said many, not all. Would you forgive her? Yes, of course. Oh, okay. Yeah, good man. For sure. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. It's too much of a waste of time to think about Candace Owens like that. Let her get under your skin and whatnot. It's just a big old waste of time. We need to fix this country. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll watch some illegals getting arrested today, too. How do you guys feel about that? Y'all want to watch some videos of some illegals getting rounded up? Cowboy style? It sounds like a great time to me, too. We got plenty of things to watch. We also have this, I'll pull it up over here. Where is it? Who Killed Charlie? We could watch this. Figured this would be a good video to watch, too. So we're going to go through these documents first, okay? I'll go through these as fast as I possibly can. Yeah, poor Charlie for sure. Definitely rest in peace, man. Yeah, poor Charlie, no matter which way this is, even if Candace Owens were to be completely right, this whole thing sucks in a sense. Like, one way or the other, his soul would be very tough to be resting in during this turmoil. You know what I'm saying? No matter what side would be correct, the fact that this is happening instead of paying more attention to the country, I don't think he would appreciate it as much, which is why I'm really going to start wanting to back off the Candace stuff. Focus on more of what's going on today. Have some fun, get some good laughs, and dunk on some liberals for sure, because that's what he would want, I think. I think dunking on liberals is just a good pastime. It's America's pastime. It's the most American thing you could do in this country, is dunk on liberals. You know what I mean? That's like the most American thing we could do. And I think we ought to celebrate Charlie Kirk a lot more by doing that. For sure. And I just think that's the American way right there. The only thing I need right now is a Keystone Light and a piece of straw. I think we got it pretty much set up for the day, huh? Oh, yeah. I don't know. We need to have just a fun laid back stream. This Saturday, we are absolutely gonna have just a crazy laid back stream. I think I'm not gonna make videos at all Saturday. I think I'm just gonna like try to start up something at like noon or so, and we're just gonna watch some fun stuff. If I don't end up busy this Saturday, it's getting really close. My kid's birthday party's coming up too, and my best friend's kids' birthdays not birthdays. Day is coming up. Actually, really, really close to my oldest birthday. They're very close. So, yeah, we got a lot coming up for Saturdays. So Saturdays will be kind of a off and on type thing. Oh yeah, Charlie would debate. He always debated liberals. Always. Yeah, that was Charlie's best thing. Charlie was a grifter too. I don't see how he was a grifter. Grifting would be more of along the lines of preaching something you don't believe in to make money. That's pretty much what grifting is. It's like, hey, like a good grift would be like, what's a great example? Selling cell phones that you would never use. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a better cell phone and you think cell phones are, like the cell phones you're trying to sell are junk, but you're going around selling those cell phones and selling people on it going, this is great, you're pretty much a grifter. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel it. Selling things that you would never use yourself, or teaching things, just in general, preaching what you don't believe and making money off it in general, that's grifting. It's just, it's not genuine, you know? And there are a lot of people who do that. A lot of people. Hassan is definitely that, for sure. Although as of late, I guess technically kind of not, because he's selling socialism, right? So I guess he believes in it. No, he only believes in socialism for the poor, though. That's the part he doesn't tell you. So there's that. NCHD 82 for Nitchid? I don't know how North Carolina I ran out of any ideas after that. Never mind. I appreciate the content already, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for the 20, man. I appreciate it. Sorry. NCHD. I hope maybe I'm saying that wrong, or maybe I am saying it correct. We'll never know. Actually, you'll probably just tell us. But, you know, for suspense purposes, we'll never know. Alrighty. Man, thank you so much. Seriously. You guys are amazing. Y'all are absolutely incredible. Alrighty. So, what do we got going on here? Sarah Fields. I'll go ahead and I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to try and get through a good chunk of this. So, I'll try to take on super chats in chunks here if more come through, as well as pausing to read chat. I'll do that just a little bit less as well, so we can just get through all this, because these are a lot of documents. A lot of documents. Anyway, we'll start off with this. I'm going to go ahead and get Chicken Toes and Just Me super chat, and then we're going to start. That's where I'll cut it off at. So, Chicken Toes for 20 says, just saying thanks for all you do, keeping us informed. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for that 20 as well. Just Me for the $10 says, thank you for your voice. Defense can't offer a plea deal. No, I think the defense is begging for a plea deal. That's what I think they're trying to do. So that I think that's kind of why they're conceding. You know what I mean? So they're like, hey, prosecution, let's maybe talk. We're not going to push back on this. We're going to push back on some of these, and let's just see if we can maybe work something out. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. They may not come anywhere near doing that. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. So, let's see. Wait, hear from Fax Me? Oh, really? Fax Me's on right now? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I appreciate that. Fax Me if you're here. Hello. How's it going? Alrighty, guys. I'm going to jump right on into this. It'll be a little bit before I check the super chats here. Breaking. Tyler Robinson's defense is filing out. Submitted by his attorneys on August 11th. Defense's filing is out. Never mind. I read that wrong. Tyler Robinson's defense filing is out. Okay. Submitted by his attorneys on August 11th, 2026, following the preliminary hearing. And the entire filing is absolutely ludicrous. I'm providing the entire filing in this thread with my summary. Tyler Robinson's defense is essentially arguing that, yes, Charlie Kirk was deliberately targeted. Yes. One shot was fired directly at him. And yes, Robinson's allegedly admitted, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it. But somehow the state is reaching too far with the additional charges and aggravating factors. Their argument against the great risk of death aggravator is almost absurdly simple. Robinson fired one shot. He intended to hit Charlie. He hit Charlie. Nobody else was hit. Therefore, according to the defense, he did not knowingly create a great risk of death to anyone else. Never mind that this happened at a crowded public event. Never mind that he was allegedly firing a high-powered rifle from a rooftop toward an area filled with people. The defense argues that because the bullet traveled downward, hit its intended target, and did not strike anyone else, prosecutors cannot establish that risk required to another person merely because people were nearby. Is it kind of bad? I somewhat disagree with her, though. And I kind of agree with the defense to a small degree. I mean, here's the thing, right? We could what if all day long. What if it missed Charlie? What if it hit someone else? What if this happened? What if that happened, right? But the fact of the matter is it actually did not. And can we say that that was skill or luck? Well, not unless you know Tyler Robinson. If he was a really well-practiced shot, then actually him knowing what he was doing is an argument. If he wasn't a very good practice shot, he got lucky, in my opinion. I don't know. You know? Mom Donnie is a Terry? Absolutely he is, Sonder. 1,000,000%. But anyway, I don't know. I somewhat disagree with Sarah Fields. I actually don't think it's that ridiculous. I think it's their best argument they have. Because think about it. They can't argue anything else, can they? So they got to do for their client the best possible job they can, and tackling this is so much easier than the other stuff. I think this is why they're going to be like, look, give us this, get rid of these extra charges, get rid of the death penalty, let's put him for life in prison, and we can do the deal of, admitting guilt. I think that's what they're going to do. Okay? Could be wrong, but it seems like that's what they're gearing up for. They even attacked the significance of the shooting targets recovered from Robinson's apartment. Their argument, the state supposedly cannot establish when those targets were shot, what firearm was used, or whether Robinson personally fired every shot. Yeah, well, that's because it's a piece of paper and it's unbelievably thin. So, of course, they're not going to be able to tell. Multiple different types of bullets are going to have the width, but it's the length that also matters, and the paper's too thin to establish length. So that's just not possible. They similarly dismissed the screwdriver found on the roof, arguing that its existence doesn't prove Robinson took the rifle apart or reassembled it. That would be if his DNA wasn't on it at all, but the fact that the DNA was on it and Lance Twiggs' DNA was on it, and let's say Lance Twiggs was not there at all, right? Completely going by the entire Fed slop narrative. Tyler Robinson was at home, or Lance Twiggs was at home. How would it have gotten on the roof with Lance Twiggs' DNA? It had to come from their house. So, at a bare minimum, that screwdriver was used for something to commit the crime, because why would he have it there? Unless, he was an electrician. Maybe somehow he forgot he had a screwdriver in his pocket. That'd be so funny. And he dropped it while picking his pants up or whatever with the gun in it. Forgot there was a screwdriver there and it actually just came out. And it turns out he never had to reassemble his rifle at all. They just assumed that because they're like, hey, his screwdriver's here. Why would he use that? Oh, well, probably to take the gun apart and put it back together. Turns out it was together the whole time, and he just dropped it out of his pocket. That would be crazy, right? I think that would make sense if he was wearing cargo pants. But he wasn't, so I'm going to guess that it was used to assemble the rifle. Anyway, then we get into witness tampering. Robinson told Lance Twiggs to ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Okay, if police questioned him, the state charged Robinson with witness tampering based on the allegation that he was attempting to induce his roommate to withhold information. The defense says absolutely not. According to them, Robinson was merely given Twiggs perfectly innocent, consensual advice. Well, that could work if he didn't tell him to look at the note under his keyboard, and if he didn't try to burn that evidence, and if he didn't admit to his crimes. If Tyler Robinson never admitted to his crimes at all, 100% this would be accurate. But the fact that he told them and then said, don't tell the police about it, that's when a crime is committed. Because now they are withholding information on a crime that was committed. That's the same thing as harboring. So, yeah, you can't do that. That would be illegal. Their position is that because Tyler Robinson already allegedly said he intended to turn himself in and told Twiggs to be polite to police. This was altruistic advice. Okay, well, look, I don't know if I'd be interested in fighting this myself if I were on Erica's team here. I don't think that would be the case. I wouldn't be worried about it because at the end of the day, if Tyler Robinson really is just turning himself in, and he did turn himself in technically, at that point in time, I don't know. I would just leave it up to the judge. I'm sure the judge would. I don't know. I would just have the judge weigh in on it, in my opinion, at that point. I don't know if I would go for it or not. Not an attempt to interfere with an investigation. It kind of does, but only temporary because they knew he was turning himself in and that it was going to be kind of a peaceful end. So, man, that's actually a tough one for me. Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say no. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is per se on that. Then there are the children. Children under 14 were at the event. Yes, now this needs to be considered. Absolutely. No way around this whatsoever. The defense doesn't dispute that. Instead, they argue that the prosecutors cannot prove Robinson knew that they were there. Yeah, not good enough. Their reasoning is that Robinson was approximately 400 feet away from allegedly spent only 35 to 44 seconds positioned on the rooftop before they shot. Here's the thing. Anybody under the age of, anybody there was going to be traumatized, but anyone under the age of 18, that is an amount of damage that happened as a result of ending Charlie Kirk that I don't think the defense is considering. That is permanent, damage done to a child. They can't witness stuff like that. They can't handle stuff like that. And imagine being 14 years old and you see the guy you came to see. I don't even have to finish that sentence. That's horrific. I think some charges should be added if they aren't already there. You see what I'm saying? That's my opinion. They literally distinguish this from shooting at an elementary school or daycare when someone's knowledge that children were present could reasonably be inferred. Because this happened on a college campus, they say the state cannot establish what Robinson knew, that Robinson knew children were in that crowd. And then we arrive at perhaps the most ridiculous argument in the entire filing, political motivation. Before I move on to that, I just want to say right here, look, it doesn't matter whether he knew or not. It happened. It happened, and he committed a crime. He gets charged with it. Sorry, there's just no way around that. If you commit a crime in the presence of a minor, that charge is added to you. Crime and, like a good example, in domestic cases, if you end up, if a man ends up beating on his wife and the kid is there, they charge you with a separate charge of abuse in front of a minor or assault in front of a minor. It should be the exact same thing with this situation. For every single minor in that crowd, he should have a charge added. That's the way I feel about that, because that is a horrific thing. I don't care if he knew or not. I don't care if he intended or not. The fact of the matter is he did. If a police officer ends up slamming into the side of a vehicle to stop them from running, and there's one survivor, the other people die, that survivor gets charged with murder. Depending if they were part of the crime or not, I guess. If it's the driver, he survives and the other people die, even though it's the cop who technically killed him, he gets charged for murder. The guy behind the wheel for sure does. Because he was committing a crime and people died in his presence, he gets charged with the murder. It's at least the way it happens here in Oklahoma. I'm sure it's the way it happens in all 50 states, though, but I don't know that for a fact. Anyway, so political motivation. Charlie Kirk was one of the most recognizable political activists in America. Robinson wrote, "I had the opportunity to take out Kirk and I took it," he said. "I had enough of his hatred." But according to the defense, that's still not enough. Why? Because Robinson apparently didn't provide prosecutors with a neat little itemized list explaining precisely which Charlie Kirk political position he hated. That is essentially their argument. Yeah, that's a little silly. It's obviously politically motivated because the only thing he really talked about was politics, so what do they mean by his hatred? Well, it's obviously politically motivated because That's the only thing. It doesn't make much sense. All right. So I'm going to open up these files, but I'll get a few of the super chats since I made it through that whole thing. That's kind of a long break in between. I think one. Nope. Okay, it didn't disappear. Cool. Got it. Judgy Juris for $10 says, attorney here. I would argue that firing a round towards an intended target that is situated amongst a crowd of thousands inherently creates great risk of death to others. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, absolutely it does. I just don't know that I would, I don't know. I mean, I think there is an argument to be had there, but it's just the best argument that they have. You know what I mean? Like, their other arguments are trash. So I think they're going to go for the best that they can do. I don't know. I don't think it's a good argument, per se. I think it's just the best argument that they have in general. I didn't realize I almost have 500 people in here. How did that happen? What is going on? 483 people in here. That's insane. Thank you guys so much. Genuinely. Wow, guys. Maverick Reigns for $5. Thank you. You didn't say anything, but thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Judgy, thank you so much for that 10, by the way. You're amazing. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, for sure it does create risk, though. And honestly, I don't know. It's like, at what point do they shave off enough for Tyler to take a plea? Well, that's what I think is going on. But I kind of hope Erica Kirk says no. No plea deals. I would really, really hope she says no and lets this play out. Because if Erica Kirk and TPUSA are watching this, getting the man behind bars probably is more important. So we'll have to see what happens. But if you want peace in your life, probably need to go ahead and just no plea deal. Because I don't think Candace Owens will let it go, ever, if it goes to a plea deal. She will say he was coerced, and the conspiracies will live free forever. It'll be a long time before we could starve her out. It will take a while. If the trial goes all the way through, well, there's just nothing Candace Owens can do. She'll get debunked at every single angle. Every single angle, she will just... There's nothing she could do. She could try, but still. Wait, whoa. Crucible Crew here? $5 Maverick Reigns says, Andrew Wilson is our champion about to debate Candace, and I'm sure a lot of us are here in appreciation of what you're doing. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Heck yeah. So you're like a Crucible subscriber? Or are you like part of their team? I don't want to insult you. But awesome. I'm glad, even if you're just a subscriber of theirs, very glad to have you here, man. Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. And thank you for the 5 again. Thank you, man. Seriously, you guys are so nice. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I definitely got I have curated the best audience on this freaking platform. For sure. Like, you guys are crazy nice. It is unbelievable. I've gone to so many, I say this every time, but I've gone to so many other people's chat rooms, and it was just like, I couldn't handle this. But you guys make it so easy. Like, everyone's just polite to each other. I'm amazed. It gives me a lot of hope for people outside in the real world. You know what I mean? Like, not everything's doom and gloom, and that's just fantastic. Because, you know, doom and gloom kind of sucks, you know? Subscriber, I'm not that. Oh, gotcha. Andrew's our guy. Heck yeah. I love Andrew. I've been watching him for the past, like, 5 years on the Whatever podcast. His stuff's hilarious. Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if Miss Owens will return the $300,000 that already sent her. Nah, they're going to have this debate. They're going to hash it out. It's going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be the best live stream, in my opinion. We're going to have so much fun. You guys better be very excited for this upcoming event. All right, guys, I got to read through this really quickly. I guess I'll full screen it. Oh, man, this sucks. No, I won't full screen it. That's too small. I got to fix this screen first, guys. Oh, wait, I can just do this. Yes. There we go. All right. This text is unbelievably small. unbelievably small. So forgive me if I stumble over my words quite often. Lila Rose for the 13 Canadian sorries. Candace went into hiding today. You do a great job, Artie. Thank you so much, Lila. Yes, she did go into hiding. It is unbelievable. Artie, you need to quit slumming in the candy type chats. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm just talking about like regular channels. Like I've gone onto like weather channels and stuff, and I've seen people just like arguing with each other on the chat. And I'm like, guys, this is a weather channel. Like, what are you doing? Like, people are getting mad. Like, I see people all the time in metal chats, metal forums. I see people in music theory. I go into a lot of music theory areas, and they're not even arguing music theory. That's the point. Like, somebody will make some comment about Trump, and then it erupts into just like an argument of politics on a music channel. And I'm like, why would I be here if I wanted to see, holy cow, goal achieved. All right, guys. Shoot. Thank you all. I didn't even realize that. Thank you for that, guys. Restart your goal. Holy cow. You guys are crazy. And then Pixel Minute Games sends 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Holy cow. Welcome, guys. I'll go ahead and get these guys real quick. Nikki Freedom got a membership. Let's see. Ginger Osloy? Olsoy? Oh, Ginger Olsoy. Gotcha. Welcome. Sonder, welcome. Bill McAllister, welcome. Let's see. Achilles, welcome. Walter Sobchak, welcome. Judy Jarris, welcome. Jay Sentries, welcome. Studded Leather Lace, welcome. Trippy, welcome. Or Tripoli. Wild and Wired Media here. Nice. Ringting. Oh, no, Ringting's, hello, Ringting. Let's see. Did I get everyone? I think I got everyone there. Awesome. Good Lord, guys. Okay, I will read the rest of the super chats here in a few. But Better Tomorrow sent me a $50 one. Okay, no, I gotta read them now. Like, that's a $50 super chat. And I don't want to feel rude to Aquanote. So after the $50 super chat, guys, I will read all of this for the most part. I'll at least read half of it. And then I'll get back to super chats. Thank you all so much for being here. I have never been in this situation before, so forgive me. I am blown away by you guys. Holy cow. FYI, since everyone here isn't a rabid animal, the We Are Charlie Kirk is actually an acronym for WAC. It's a low-tier diss towards Christians in general. N1SB, not one step back. I don't know about any of that stuff. Oh, the We Are Charlie Kirk. Oh, I see. That's the whole Hassan thing going on right now. The We Are Charlie Kirk. Yes. That is actually crazy. Absolutely. I didn't know what you were talking about at first, but thank you for that. Thank you so much for that, Aqua. Better Tomorrow for the 50 says, Erica can't reject a plea deal. It's the state context. It's the state context. I was the victim of a crime involving guns, but I lived. It went to trial, and he accepted a plea deal after the first day. Nobody asked me. They just told me when I showed up to continue my testimony. No, for sure. It same exact thing happened with the Brian Kohberger case. The parents all demanded no plea deal, and they still took one. So that's definitely fact. I just mean, personally, I hope Erica Kirk rejects it outright and says, we do not want a plea deal. Because no matter what, like, I think it would be a bad look optically if she did that. I probably should have been more clear about that. Terribly sorry about that. Yeah, I genuinely think that that Erica Kirk should just be like, we absolutely reject this and are disappointed by this result and all that. Which I think no matter what, you have to. I think no matter what, she would just kind of have to in that situation. I don't know. Because I just remember, man, the Gonsalves family. Gonsalves family? I feel so bad for them. I feel so unbelievably bad for them. Having to go through what they did. All four families, but the Gonsalves are still fighting, and not very many people are listening. And I feel terrible for them. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to take a break from the super chats. I'm going to read this off right here. We got to jump into this, or we'll be here all night. Anyway, I don't mind being here all night with you guys. Y'all are awesome. Introduction. On September 16th, 2025, the state charged Tyler Robinson with capital offense of aggravated murder and other lesser offenses. The state had over 10 months to investigate the incident of Charlie Kirk. For YouTube purposes there. And to develop legally sufficient evidence that Mr. Robinson knowingly created a great risk of death to another other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. The sole aggravator alleged in the information, which in theory exposes Mr. Robinson to the potential punishment of death, Utah Code subsection 76-5-2022A3, whatever. Anyway, the state's presentation of its evidence as to this alleged circumstance in aggravation at the preliminary hearing, July 2026, who wholly fails to carry its burden of proof. The state's failure cannot in any manner be attributed to any orders by this court limiting in presentation, nor does it fall within Rule 1102C1, because the state's presentation in support of this aggravating factor was not based upon hearsay evidence. Nor did this court exclude any pro-offered expert testimony. Proffered expert testimony? Pro-offered? I don't know. I actually literally don't know. So, there we go. Get me on the Candace reel there. Misspelling words. Anyway, in fact, the court did not exclude any evidence on this subject, and it did not limit the amount of time available to the state to present its case. Yet the state had failed to establish probable cause that the shooter knowingly created a great risk of death to another other than Charlie Kirk and himself. The state is required as a matter of law to show more than a possibility that someone else may be killed by defendant's conduct rather than there was a high probability of that result and the defendant knew of that high probability. And where the state had overwhelmingly failed to make the showing, it asks the court to expand Utah's narrow I almost said something from King of the Hill. Let's start over there. It asks this court to expand Utah's narrow construction of the great risk of death aggravator using decade-old cases from another state's jurisdiction. Finding constitutional precedent both under Utah law and the United States Constitution demonstrate the state's failure here and why this court may not be impermissibly broaden the scope of... Did I say B? This court may not impermissibly burden the scope of knowingly created a great risk of death. The facts and the law require this court to strike the sole aggravating factor. Hopefully I'm not screaming into my microphone and clipping it here, guys. Anyway, argument. The state has not met its burden to show probable cause by relying on hearsay deemed reliable by rule of violation of Mr. Robinson's constitutional rights and separation of powers principles. As briefed... Ooh, man. Talking sure is running my voice down pretty quick. Ooh, there we go. Man, but Justin really may be onto something with that. Let's see here. Did I get all this? I think I did. As briefed and argued extensively prior to the preliminary hearing and raised as continuing objection throughout the preliminary hearing itself, the state's executive use of hearsay deemed reliable by rule of criminal procedure 1102 violates Mr. Robinson's constitutional rights and separation of powers principles. See U.S. Constitution Amendments 6, 8, and 14. Utah, I think I got that. Yeah, 6, 8, and 14. Alrighty. Utah Constitution, Article 1, Subsection 1. See also documents. Okay, this is kind of, yes, we get it. This court may not bind over Mr. Robinson's based upon the state evidence consisting preliminary of hearsay that has not been assessed for reliability. This is particularly true as it relates. This is so small, it's driving me nuts. I'm not even kidding. I have to squint to see this. This is particularly true as it relates to the evidence cited by the state to establish identity. For all of the charged counts, see, yes, all this. Okay, we get it. And for anybody that's on a big screen TV, just realize I am looking on a 27-inch monitor. I am not looking at a 42-inch TV screen. Just pointing that out. Anyway, let's see here. Okay. So we got all this. We get it. All these things violate his rights. Okay. Oh, wait. This is kind of interesting. The evidence came from or became presumptively admissible through a recorded interview between the Utah County Attorney's Office and witness Lance Twiggs. Yep. Number 16 here. Or what is it? Stated exit. What am I looking at? Is it state example? That's not right. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Number 16, a witness in the court. It's like, the piece of evidence that they gave. A witness the court would allow Mr. Robinson to subpoena from another state to testify at the preliminary hearing. Well, they were in the same state at the same time when this crime occurred. So, who cares, I guess. I don't know. See document 625. The state has failed to prove probable cause by reliable evidence that satisfies each element of each of the changed evidence. The court must decline bind over on all charges. 1. As a matter of law, the state has not established and cannot establish probable cause to support the aggravator that the shooting knowingly created a high probability of death to another individual from the single shot from a high-powered scoped rifle from a rooftop vantage. Okay, so anyway, we get it. They have not established that it's a risk to other people. Number 2, okay. Number 2 is going to take a while to get to, guys. All right. Okay. Here we go. Cause the death of another individual under circumstances where the actor knowingly created a great risk of death to another. Okay, so they're just explaining it. We understand. I don't have to go through that. Imposed in those which is not... wait, hold on. Let me see if there's anything else. Constitution, imposing the death penalty, or... Okay. All that. The objective of the laws to require the discretion. Okay, so they're just arguing against the death penalty, of course. Impose those which is not... okay. Upheld use of KGRD as an aggravator based upon the Florida Supreme Court decision. Okay, so they're using another state's case to argue in their favor. Gotcha. Omitted as a result, a state's definitions of aggravating circumstances, those circumstances that make a criminal defendant. Why does this feel like it's out of order? Am I... Okay. No, it ends, so yeah, it just... Omitted. But where's the other parenthesis on it? It just looks like a word ends, Yeah, it seems weird. I don't know. Omitted. Maybe that's a way to do punctuation. I've never seen a punctuation, though, with just one parenthesis at the end of it. So, I don't know. I guess my English is not that advanced. But anyway, as a result, a state's definitions of its aggravating circumstances, those circumstances make a criminal defendant eligible for the death penalty. Therefore, play a significant role in... okay, so they really are just trying to get this death penalty off by any means necessary. That's pretty much what they're doing right here. So again, this is still going over point number 1. Going over point number 1. Let's see if we get to point number 2. And, wow. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me skip ahead and see if I'm right or wrong. Because if I'm wrong, I'm going to have to just go back and read it anyway. Line of sight. Yeah, I mean, look at this. They are arguing for point 1 still. Okay. 20. How many points do they make? Do they only make the 1 point? Let's see. Number 2. Okay. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. So... Close examination of the defendant's course of conduct and the mental state of the defendant relative to the other individuals. Okay. Let's see. They're just citing case after case after case. That's what's going on here. All these cases, Valdez versus State, Lockett versus Trammell. So what they're doing throughout all these pages, all the way to this point, is making arguments based on case by case by case by case. I don't need to go through all that. That's a big waste of time. So, anyway, count 2. Or, not count 2. Reason number 2. Count 6 must be stricken because the evidence does not establish that Mr. Robinson's statement to Mr. Twiggs to ask for a lawyer and stay silent was intended to obstruct an investigation. So then they're going to go through all of that. Every bit of this. Oh, wait, really? Artie Charles downloaded from Andrea Burkhart so you can Zoom? Sweet. Where would you be sending that at? How would I, Andrea Burke? Oh, wait. No, I see what you're saying. I could find her on here, can't I? Let's see. Andrea Burke. Okay. Is it H-A-R-T or H-E-R-T? Oh, Burke, H-A-R-D-T. Oh. Well, Tyler Robinson. Get this from 4 hours ago. Robinson defense attorney says state failed to ID Tyler Robinson is Charlie Kirk Ender. Let's hear this. Let's see where that says that at. Hold on, what page? Page 2? Let's see. We'll go back to page 2. I'm more than happy to prove this clown wrong. Real quick, let's just debunk this really fast. Because I read through all of number 2. Okay. Let's see. Find over Mr. Robinson's state preliminary hearsay has not been reliable. Let's see. Communications between Robinson and Lance Twiggs. Let me make sure these are the same one. Argument, state has not met its burden to show probable cause, relying on hearsay. Okay. So it starts with, this is particularly true as it relates to the evidence cited by the state to establish identity for all the charge counts. No communications. Communications between Mr. Robinson and other individuals on the application Discord, and an identification of Mr. Robinson from UVU surveillance footage. Man, if I could speak today. See this 16.1, 16.2. This evidence came from or became presumptively admissible through a record interview between Utah's county attorney office and witness Lance Twiggs. Witness said the court would not allow Mr. Robinson to seek subpoena. Okay, this didn't say anything like that. Element of each charged evidence. Court must decline bind on all charges as a matter of law. State is not established, cannot establish probable cause to support aggravator that the shooting knowingly created a high probable death to any another individual. I'm so confused. Why would he say that they denied the shooter? This is a straight up lie. Page 22. Okay, they get there. The video evidence shows Mr. Robinson walking up and down the stairs. Oh, I was going to get to that though, probably. I don't think it was on page 22 yet. Oh, I'm on 24 now. No, I was past 22. Okay. Yeah, we probably should have read through that. Where is this part on the page that I was supposed to be? Okay, count 2. I'm just going to go from, I'm going to read that part on 22 for sure. Shoot, I could do it from their angle, though. The stuff is ridiculous. All this stuff is, all this evidence is ridiculous. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? The video evidence shows Mr. Robinson walking up and down the stairs UVU with a gate. Okay. He says up to here, as to E, the state also asked his court to speculate that after scoping the rifle, it was taken apart and put back together prior to the shooting, and therefore the shooter knew that a lack of accuracy created a high probability risk of death to others. The state presented no evidence to support any inference that the rifle was in pieces at the time. Well, how is this responding to them saying it was Tyler Robinson? Does this guy not read? Does Diligent Denizen not read what he puts out there? How stupid do you have to be? Like, that is actually crazy. That is crazy stupid. Okay? How did they reply to that? Spin it however you want at the end of the day, facts, feelings. Yeah, but he didn't even spin anything. He just said that they don't have proof that the rifle was in 2 pieces. What? Like, okay. I don't care if it was in 2 pieces or not. You know? Anyway. So, it's okay. I don't need to zoom in and out. It's all good. I'll figure this out myself here. It's fine. I can read. My eyesight will be dead by tomorrow, but I can read. It's okay. I'll sacrifice it for you guys. No, it's not that hard to read. I just stumble sometimes. Unless I have big letter on tiny page. Because I'm inept. I'm inept. I'm not a good reader. No, I read fine, I guess. It's all good. It's just a little hard to see, but it's no big deal. I'm not a big old baby. Anyway, so count 6 must be stricken because evidence does not establish that Mr. Robinson's statement to Mr. Twiggs to ask for a lawyer and stay silent was intended to obstruct an investigation. Honestly, I could care less about this. I really could care less about this. They can either find him guilty or not guilty on this. It actually doesn't matter to me at all. I don't know why I would even waste my time really with it, because I don't care. It is a lesser charge. That's not what I'm after. I'm here to, just see what happens with him and Tyler Robinson. Like, killing Charlie Kirk. It's really it. I don't care otherwise. Just, whatever the case, whether he cared to obstruct or not, I don't know if that was his intent. I'm sure he was just, like, having his little lover boy time, like, oh, it's so dramatic. Look at what we did for each other. You know what I mean? I just don't care. However they want to spin it. It's not the important meat of the crime. Anyway, number 3. Count 7 must be stricken because the evidence does not establish that Mr. Robinson had knowledge that a child under the age of 14 was present and would see or hear the commission of the charged homicide. I'm telling you right now, I don't care if he knows or knew or not. He's guilty of it. Now, this is something I do care about. Underage people being forced to watch this, what took place, they didn't ask for it to happen, and they deserve to be at that campus. They had every right to be there. Tyler Robinson's the issue in that situation. For every single minor that was in that crowd, I actually think a charge should be added. That's my opinion on that. It goes the opposite direction. While I don't care about him intending on obstructing the case nearly as much as I care about these charges being thrown at him with the fullest extent of the law. The absolute fullest extent of the law. He should be slapped with every single one of them. For every single minor, I think he deserves 10 years. So I hope there was, a good amount. How many kids under 18 were at the event? How many kids under 18? I bet at least 50 of them. I bet there's at least 50. Let's see. There were 3,000 people. What percentage of that minors? What percentage of that 3,000 were minors? Okay. Overwhelmingly student age was at least 600 attendees. Other than that, people don't know. So there were at least 600. At least 600 kids. That's 600 years. Oh, or that's 6,000 years. Never mind. Not 600. That's 6,000 years in prison. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that right there. Honestly, I really am. Yeah, I think we could charge him with that. 6,000 years? That's a small sentence, I think. And all of them had to watch it. All of them had to watch it. Yeah, I don't know. That may actually just be enough to just go ahead for death penalty anyway. I don't know. At the end of the day, maybe it is. Maybe that's enough. Making 600 kids watch something like that? I don't know. That's enough. That enough right there is enough to sway me for death penalty for the most part. To be honest. So, I don't know. That's all it took for me. I don't even care. I think this is garbage to even argue. I think it's stupid to argue. I don't care that he knew or not. He did it. So, there you go. Oh, yeah. Firing squad? You know what I'm going to... there's this thing called karma. And what goes around comes around. I could think of a creative way, to be honest. Kind of like an eye for an eye. I won't say where on YouTube, but I think you know exactly where. So yeah, firing squad would be fine for me. If he's proven 100% guilty, of course. If he's proven 100% guilty. But again, I don't know. I don't know. You reap what you sow. That's exactly right. I think so. I think that's fair. I think it's fair enough. Anyway, the information charges Mr. Robinson's account 7 with the substantive offense knowingly exposing a child under the age of 14 to the charged homicide. I don't care if he knowingly did it or not. I don't care. He did it. He did it. He deserves the consequences that come with it. I don't care to argue that at all. They're all arguing, and that's the thing. Everything in this is just arguing for that one specific thing. So Candace Owens isn't going to be able to go through all of this page by page by page and then pick something out like what Diligent is trying to do here. Diligent's trying to sit here and go, aha, they state failed to ID Tyler Robinson as the Kirk shooter. But it never says that in here. It never even suggests that. That's what Candace Owens is going to do. That's what she's going to do. Or at least that's what she was going to do. She decided to run away. She decided to run away and tuck tail. That's what she decided to do today. Wow, I've never stuttered like that before. Oh, no. All those times I bullied those kids. Stuttering in the hallway, shoving them in locker. No, I wasn't that kind of guy. And it finally caught up to me right now. But I've never done that before, ever. That would be funny, though. Wouldn't it be crazy if I turned out to be some crazy bully from, like, high school? Wouldn't that be wild? That would be actually genuinely shocking. I don't think people would ever believe something like that. So anyway, conclusion. Down here. Okay, so here, I'll just read this last page anyway. Searching his residence, his parents. Ooh, what do you? Oh, goulash. Thank you. A fresh bottle of water. I appreciate it. Love you. Goulash. My favorite meal right now. Genuinely. Like, oh, I love goulash so much. Finally got the wife to agree to make goulash. Now I've got it for 2 weeks in a row. I feel spoiled. Ooh. Heck yeah, I got to take, food test here on, I got to get a noodle in here. Lots of meat, noodle. Mm. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I don't know why, but nothing beats goulash. I'll eat this whenever we're watching the video. I'm not going to smack my gums in the microphone here for you guys, but yeah. Thank you all so much. Thank you all. Oh yeah, I see. The goal is not going up at all, is it? That's odd. And I've gotten a few more. I'll get to those here. I'll go ahead and finish this up quickly. So, searching his residence, his parents' residence. Man, okay. I'm so glad it said that because the text is hard to read. I thought it said searching his residence, his pants' residence, and I was like, yo. Luckily, I read it out as parents. But man, my brain was telling me to say pants. I don't know how I didn't scream pants out, but all right. Searching his residence, his parents' residence, his computers, his telephone, Mr. Twiggs' telephone, and hundreds of law enforcement interviews, there is nothing to base this sentencing enhancement upon other than that single criticism of Mr. Kirk's hatred. So they're talking about the politics still. So there's no way for them to spin that last one. There's no way for them to do that. Oh, wait, it's because I missed it. I actually was on number 3 still. The stricken establishment that, about the 14. I missed this part down here of the state has failed to produce reliable evidence that the victim targeting enhancement applies here. I think Candace Owens was planning today on trying to twist this document up, but I think once she saw the 1, 2, 3, 4 and how easy it was going to be for us to just spam that out there, she realized this was a no-win situation and she bowed out for tonight. So she can focus on the debate and then she can try to spin this on Monday. But I think this debate may actually damage Candace Owens pretty badly on Friday. And I think that's what she's discussing with her team right now. You might be right, guys. She very well might back out of this debate and return the $300,000. But if she does that, oh man, ooh, I don't know how bad that backlash would go. That would be some serious backlash, but I think it wouldn't be nearly as bad as I don't think it'll be nearly as bad as the latter. I think if she goes on the debate, he's going to destroy her. And he's going to have this document memorized. I think he has this document memorized and pulled up. And she gets absolutely demolished by it. That's my opinion. So anyway, they're talking about his hatred and his political leanings and whatnot, and having this what do they call it, enhancement of a charge, and they're wanting it gone. So in conclusion, in relying largely on hearsay deemed reliable by rule, the state has failed to prove probable cause by reliable evidence that satisfies each element of each of the charged evidence. For this reason alone, this court must decline bindover. In addition, the state has not provided this court with sufficient evidence as a matter of law to satisfy the sole alleged aggravator in the information. Under controlling constitutional law and Utah Supreme Court interpretation, the court cannot find, based on the state's evidence, that the circumstances presented a great risk of death to another other than Charlie Kirk and himself, and that the shooter knew of this high probability, quote unquote, of death of another. Finally, the court should decline to bind over on the state's alleged aggravators in counts 6 and 7, where the state requires this court, to speculate in the absence of evidence to establish essential elements. Well, is what it is, I guess, there. I don't think they actually really have a solid argument other than the intent of the destruction of evidence. That's the only thing they really have, in my opinion, for the most part. But, yeah, there's a reason why Candace Owens didn't want to cover this today. So, here's what we're going to do. We point at him and laugh, and then we move on to this MS Now video. We're going to actually just go ahead and watch it, because why not? We could just do that. We could just simply watch this, and then see how full of crap Candace Owens may be. Because Candace Owens says this was a hit piece on her. I don't think it necessarily was, but maybe it is. Maybe we'll find out. Now let me go ahead and I'm going to get to these super chats. Yeah, the goal did not update. Despite having another 50. Oh my gosh. Holy cow, guys. Man, you all are unbelievably nice. So, let's get here. Maverick Reigns for the 5 says, if there are any other Crucible crew in here, show your love for this guy. Donate. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Kelly McKinnon for the 50. Is it McKinnon? I always have to double check. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Does it say here? Oh, it's going to freeze. Yay. It froze. Thank you. Thank you. Kelly McKinnon. That is correct. You'd think I would just have your name memorized by now, but I just always have to double check, because if I get it wrong, I'm going to feel bad. Thank you for your coverage. Great show as usual. Thank you so much, Kelly. Nurse, Terrivington. Nurse Terrivening. I will get that down at some point. Nurse Terry. Well, I got it down now. Thank you. Yeah, that's funny. Nurse Terry. Many students are still 17 as well. Absolutely. So it's Terry Vinning? Terry Vinning? I think so. So I'll just call you Nurse Terry. I'll remember that for sure. Oh man, you got to treat me like I'm in a high school. That's hilarious. Maverick Reigns for the $5 says the Crucible is coming for Candace's reckoning, and Hell's coming with us. I believe you guys. You guys are a pretty wild bunch. Pretty wild bunch. It reminds me of the you guys are kind of like the what used to be what do they call it? Blood sports on YouTube. I would say that's kind of where I would probably say, other than going to Kino Casino, who's still trying to keep that alive, which I don't know that they're necessarily keeping that alive very well. But I'd say most of them probably went over to the Andrew Wilson crowd and the Whatever podcast. That seems like where everybody's kind of went to. You know what I mean? But tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you remember the Morning Kumite or anything like that. Thank you so much for that, Maverick. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kelly. Like, that's a lot. That is a lot, guys. You all are incredible. Absolutely incredible. How did Candace go 5 to 6 months of being pregnant without anyone knowing? Test tubes. She's E.T. That's why she has the E.T. doll. It's a reference to her test tube babies. She's got like a secret laboratory. quote me on who says laboratory. You guys got to know, right? Laboratory. I can't do his voice. Sorry. Is that Rob Paulson? Did Rob Paulson voice him? I don't want to give away the show. Oh. No, that is not Rob Paulson. That's Christine Cavanaugh. For the first 2 seasons. Oh, and then Candy Milo for the final episodes? Okay, who's Christine Cavanaugh, though? Does she have like a... Oh, she passed away. Oh. She's not the one who originally voiced Chucky, was she? Hold on. She was Chucky. She's the one who passed away. Okay. I didn't know she also voiced Dexter. And I gave it away. Dang it. Whatever. Dexter. Okay, some people said Dexter, though. I didn't give it away completely. Good. Dexter's Lab, yeah. I didn't know she was the same one that voiced Chucky Finster. Then the lady who did Bart Simpson. What is her name? She does Bart Simpson and a few other characters in The Simpsons. But she now does Chucky Finster and all, well, now, but she took over for Chucky Finster from Rugrats. Natalie, her name's Natalie. Who voices Bart Simpson? Nancy Cartwright, not Natalie. Nancy Cartwright. There we go. Anyway, sorry, I know too much about voice actors. Y'all ready to get this video started, though? Let's, I know, Fax Me is going to show it, LLC, Lady Luck. Oh, okay, if you're on Paramount Tactical. Is Fax Me on Paramount right now? Who's on Paramount right now? I'm gonna spy on you, I'm Mr. Paramount, Mr. Gary Paramount, not Gary, because he's on vacation. Dang it. Why would I search Paramount Tactical on YouTube? Wouldn't I just go to... I misspelled tactical and spelled it like something I shouldn't have. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. Where you at? Okay. They're not live yet. They're going live at 6 p.m. Heck yeah. Well, I could get this done by probably 6 p.m. and send you guys their way. At least by 6:30, bare minimum. But yeah, I'm going to flood you guys into this, into Gary's. I'll be taking over Gary's platform on Thursday and Friday. So, boom. So, heck yeah. Jared, 6 p.m. Awesome. With Gil as his guest. Absolutely. Glad to have you in here, Gil. Seriously, I'm going to send people your way for sure. Oh, Tara Strong. Tara Strong's amazing. She's got way too many credits. She is literally the voice of almost everyone, right? She's Tara Strong voices Tara. No, Tara Strong voices Raven in Teen Titans. Who voices Tara? Different Tara, obviously, though. But, yeah, she voices a lot of people. She's Bubbles in Powerpuff Girls. She's, definitely... Is she Dee Dee in Dexter's Lab? My voice is going hoarse. Let's see. Dee Dee, Dexter's Lab voice is Allison Moore. Never mind. Or Cat Cressida. Okay. She also has 2. Interesting. Well, anyway, Tara Strong has a crazy list. She's like the Christopher Lee of voice actresses. For sure. Let's see. Apophenia. Look it up. Tell me it doesn't apply to Candace. Probably, to be honest. Fax Me and Lady Luck are going to be are going to show the debate on Friday. Heck yeah. Oh, and me. Oh, heck yeah. All right, yeah, I'm fine with that too. Absolutely sounds good to me. Absolutely. I'm along for the ride. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a crazy show, guys. Absolutely going to be wild. That's for certain. So, heck yeah. Andrew Wilson can't open up a pickle jar. Can he not? Be very funny. Oh, yeah. She does voice in the My Little Pony stuff. I do not watch that. I am trying so hard to keep my kids away from it because once they start it, they're going to want me to watch it with them. And I just don't want to do that. I really don't want to watch that show. I know a lot of people like it, but it is not my thing. I know there are bronies out there. I am not one of those. But I got little girls. And I'm going to get sucked into it at some point. And I'm trying so hard to throw different shows at them like Danny Phantom and Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob. And they're taking the bait. They are loving it. We're watching PB&J Otter. We watch Doug. We watch Doug a lot. We watch Recess, School's Out. That's a great one. That's a great movie. As well as Recess, all the episodes. It's all Klasky Supo, so it's all the Rugrat voice actors and stuff. So very, very good show. Very clean show to watch. Cannot recommend Recess enough. You're going to be streaming the debate too, Art? I'm actually going to be on Paramount Tactical, I think, streaming that all day Friday and here. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild show, I think. So we're going to have a crazy time. So I'll be there. I don't know if Jen wants to bring in more people or not. Down for anything. I'm just here to have a good time. So anyway, guys, I'll be sending y'all over this way. Let's go ahead and start this video. And let's see where we go. We're going to see if Candace Owens is getting attacked.
The Zapruder film. 26 seconds, 486 frames, silent and in color. A home movie taken by a dressmaker named Abraham Zapruder on November 22nd, 1963. It captured the assassination of a president. This film wasn't shown on television until 12 years after its recording.
For 2 years, he, like most Americans, believed in the official version, the Warren Commission version of what happened, but the day he first saw that 8mm Zapruder film, that amateur film that was made, that was the day he stopped believing.
It triggered our most popular and enduring political conspiracy theory, that Kennedy wasn't killed by a lone gunman, but by a cast of conspirators, foreign and domestic, hiding behind a patsy. Fast forward more than 50 years to another assassination, this time of a Republican activist who dominated new media, arguably swayed elections, and wielded huge influence over Trump's cabinet picks. A 31-year-old who many on the right hoped would someday be president. This assassination was captured by scores of cameras from as many different angles and broadcast immediately to millions on smartphones. The Zapruder film, a grainy home video, had the power to make many Americans believe their government had orchestrated the assassination of John F. Kennedy. The videos of the killing of Charlie Kirk, live and at the speed of social media, could have even more power to splinter a political movement and maybe shatter what's left of a shared reality.
Am I going to get a copyright claim for that song playing right there? If that happens, I'm going to get upset with MSNBC here, for sure. So I'm going to take a little pause and just talk for a second. Hope that that song is not a copyrighted song. If it is, I guess I'll cut it out.
Whatever you think of Charlie Kirk, campus crusader, MAGA kingmaker, hate monger, he was...
A lot of people thought he was not a good guy that are currently defending the conspiracy theories right now. It's kind of wild how that works. Most of the people, I would say, that are defending the conspiracy theories Candace is peddling actually just genuinely did not like Charlie Kirk at all. Crazy, right? Just a weird coincidence. Just want to throw that out.
Was one of a kind. A teenager who talked his way into the conservative movement, and by 31 was a major voice in picking President Trump's second running mate.
Yes, Texas Motherbird. At least to my understanding. Maybe I misunderstood some, but yes, I will be hosting Thursday and Friday for Paramount Tactical, which means we will definitely be hosting the debate on Friday, which is going to be awesome. Hey, Mina, thank you for being here.
And current vice president.
This is a good video.
JD Vance is the best for a lot of different reasons.
He was a media giant with millions of followers and billions of views.
This video that you're about to see, 1 billion people saw. Who knows what it means for the election and for the civilization.
I'm Brandy Zadrozny, a senior reporter at MS Now,
awesome.
And I've been covering the MAGA movement for over a decade. I've watched how politicians and operators on the right embraced conspiracy theories. In that time, I saw what was once fringe become normal. Conspiracy theories became constant. Presidential elections, QAnon, a pandemic, and I watched as Charlie Kirk pushed those conspiracy theories into the mainstream right.
Allegedly, Haitians are going around and taking people's pets and eating them.
After his death, a machine powered up, one that runs on distrust, one that Kirk helped build, and it did exactly what it was designed to do. It rejected the official story.
The question is, was he the shooter?
It seems like we're being spoon-fed a narrative.
I now believe there is a federal level of corruption and conspiracy.
Do I hear a thing of bagpipes going off like every 3 seconds in this video? Like very quietly, or am I going crazy?
Involved in this murder, okay?
Now, a cottage industry of conspiracists say Kirk's accused killer is a patsy, suggest his widow Erica is in on a cover-up, and that our own government, or a foreign one, ordered the hit. This far-out content has incredibly convinced millions, unleashing waves of harassment against those who were closest to Kirk, breaking apart one of MAGA's most powerful alliances between politicians and conservative influencers.
We should not say things like, they shot Charlie.
Candace knows I disagree with her on this.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
It's also building a captive and paranoid audience on top of his grave.
Where are Charlie's homies at? Why are you guys all silent? Something's not right. We don't know, but we know. And soon, we're gonna know.
This is a story about what happens when a
Gotta love hearing it from Candace herself. I mean, she's so good with her words, isn't she? Isn't she just wonderful with them?
political movement built on
Tells you what she
conspiracy
means every
theories
time.
becomes the target of one, when what they've built comes for them. I've spent months following this story. It's taken me to the university in Utah where Kirk was shot, to the turning point stages where his widow is fighting to keep hold of his legacy, into the Provo courtroom where prosecutors are building the case against his alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, and into the unhinged online universe where creators are dismantling that case and selling another story, just asking the question,
Who actually murdered Charlie Kirk?
And who shot Charlie Kirk?
Who killed Charlie Kirk? You know we're getting close.
Yeah, we've been getting close for quite a long time, haven't we? Okay.
So first, I really appreciate you taking this time. I first met Candace Owens in 2018. Okay, so first, I really appreciate you taking this time. I know that this was like...
started out in a Twitter battle.
I'd come to Stanford University to see her speak with Charlie Kirk. Kirk was just 24 years old then. He'd worked social media on Trump's 2016 campaign and was back to building Turning Point USA, the group he'd started 4 years earlier to fight the left on college campuses and to recruit young Republicans.
If you're asking me, do I think the black community has been crippled economically, the answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies.
Kirk was crisscrossing the country, owning the libs, and building a digital enterprise on the back of his college debate tapes.
What have I ever said that's racist?
He absolutely did that.
Name one.
About racism and by enabling people and giving them a
But Charlie Kirk on
Like who? Like Candace Owens?
Exactly.
Oh, Candace Owens is a racist.
Kirk had just hired Candace, technically as Turning Point's Director of Urban Engagement, then promoted to Communications Manager, but really she was a sidekick and everything Charlie wasn't. A woman, black, and to Charlie and his roster of old white donors, comparatively cool.
Met Candace back in November, hired her 5 minutes after I met her.
I guess.
And as they say, the rest is the future.
Probably cooler
Before
than
we
most
go any
donors.
further, I should note that Candace declined to be interviewed for this
But
video.
most donors are
When I
also
asked,
not.
She sent
Let me pause that. Most donors are also not putting themselves in front of a camera. In all fairness.
a statement through her rep. She called me slimy and said it made her skin crawl that I would reach out in the wake of Charlie's assassination. And for the record, this is a weird thing to say, since this was the text Candace sent after that story published, and inconsistent with how Kirk spoke publicly about me.
And we've dealt with Bradney Zadrozny before in some stories. She's very smart, a relatively fair person, but she still has that, pepper in her insults.
But Candace runs on vibes, and for an audience with a very short memory and attention span, it seems to be working out.
Happy 6 million subscribers.
It's very schizophrenic to send like a nice text and then right after that send a crazy text. I'd say that's kind of schizo. That's a pretty schizo thing to do.
We did it. I'm so proud.
Now, how she became the fastest growing right-wing podcaster in America, it's a story worth telling because Candace's rise and ultimate crash through conservative media helps make sense of why she'd go on to do what she did to Charlie Kirk and the movement he helped build. Candace grew up in Stamford, Connecticut with her parents and grandparents. In high school, she was the victim of some pretty terrible racist bullying. It was big state news. The NAACP took up her case and her parents sued, eventually settling with the school. In 2016, as Trump stampeded toward the White House,
The funny thing is that wasn't the school's fault at all. I don't know why she settled at the school because it happened after hours in school, didn't it? It didn't even take place at the school. So I don't know. I think that's pretty crummy.
Candace was living in New York City, working with a few other young women in a small marketing startup when she had an idea. It was rooted, she said, in her experience being bullied in high school. She called the project Social Autopsy. It would be a website, really a searchable database of people's online accounts and posts.
With the ability to privatize social profiles and use pseudonyms in place of real names.
You notice that it was by Degree 180 though? For some reason, people were arguing with me like a month or two ago that Degree 180 was separate from Social Autopsy. I'm like, no, that was, the parent company was Degree 180, which was also Candace Owens owned.
It has been a free-for-all. That is, until now.
Candace said Social Autopsy would rid the internet of cyberbullies and trolls.
Social Autopsy is your digital footprint, so be mindful of the words that you share.
But Social Autopsy ran straight into another corner of the internet, Gamergate. Maybe the most consequential battle in the internet culture wars.
This was at the very end of Gamergate.
It's a story about sexism in the world of video gaming with all the elements
Gamergate
of
was
a Hollywood
2014.
script.
Players were invited to
Social Autopsy was 2015. Late 2015, early 2016.
click on the screen, and when you did that, an image of me became increasingly battered and bruised.
As a result, now she says she and her
It's
husband had to
really
flee
funny.
their home this weekend because of threats made against her on Twitter.
Now, if those were real pictures, then no. But if that's just Photoshop, that's actually kind of a funny thing to do.
Candace's problem wasn't with the mob of mostly far-right men leading the organized campaign of harassment, doxing, and threats against women in the video gaming community. It was with its victims,
Yeah,
who
then all
feared
of
that
this was
Social
fake.
Autopsy was a doxing machine that internet trolls were going to use to victimize more people. They called Candace out.
So, Gamergate, what it really was it was a bunch of gamer developers that were taking bribes. Long story short, that's what Gamergate was. And they want to try and memory hole that and change it into something that it actually was not. Gamergate was all about all these developers taking crappy bribes from pretty women to insert feminist garbage into the games. That's really it.
Dug in, and she found support from the men pushing Gamergate and others on the far right. Her company lost its financial lifeline when Kickstarter suspended the project. Owens blamed a conspiracy from the left, from the victims of Gamergate. And so, she left behind her career as a tech founder and reinvented herself as a hard right influencer.
I became a conservative overnight. I realized that liberals were actually the racists, that liberals were actually the trolls.
So Candace starts a YouTube channel called Red Pill Black, a reference to her race and the Matrix speak for discovering
And she stole the name directly from Coach Red Pill. But I guess people don't remember that.
some secret truth. In these new videos, Candace sported a bold lip and a sarcastic tone, and no take was too conservative or contrarian.
Oh my God, Charlottesville. White supremacy is alive and well. Run. Stop.
Charlie Kirk noticed, and 4 months after she started with her new conservative identity, Turning Point USA scooped her up. At the Illinois event where her hiring was announced, Owens said, quote, "By the end of 2018, I'm going to be one of the most well-known people in this country because I'm going to lead the Black revolution for the conservative movement." She would turn out to be half right. Candace started making videos for Turning Point, where she's anti-DEI, anti-feminism, anti-BLM, anti-Me Too, you get it.
Colin Kaepernick, you are a coward. America, despite what CNN may tell you, is not a racist country. Does this look like a symbol of hate? Am I offending you? Is this offensive?
By 2018, she was
That's called overacting.
one of the
That's
most
actually not
well-known
great.
people on the right.
It's funny
But her
to a degree,
reputation
but-
wasn't stellar. Candace sort of burned through the conservative movement at a pretty impressive clip. In the interest of time, I'm gonna speed through this part. April 2018, Kanye West tweets, quote, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." From there,
I wonder if she's going to go over the facts about that tweet. Candace Owens met Kanye West 6 months before that tweet went out on Dave Rubin's show. In September of 2017, she was on Dave Rubin's show. It was a couple of weeks before she ended up debating Blair White. I think it was October 1st when she debated Blair White, something like that. Or maybe the very end of September. But long story short with this, Dave Rubin says, hey, I've been working with Kanye West. I could introduce you to him. Or he's working next door or something like that, whatever he was doing with him. She said, oh my gosh, let's go do that. And he goes, okay, we're going to go find Kanye. And then they end up ending the show. So she goes and meets Kanye West. 6 months later, he makes this tweet he makes a tweet that manifested from her and Charlie Kirk's will. that they were just praying and praying that Kanye West would hear them, and then he just tweeted out randomly. No, that's not how that happened. It was planned. She met Kanye West way before that tweet went out. It's crazy. Fox McCloud for the $5 says, I've never liked her. Absolutely. I liked her for a brief moment in late 2017, early 2018, and then she started her antics right back up against Steven Crowder, and I was right off it. But I was like, maybe she really had changed, and then she proved. So I didn't fall for Candace Owens for very long at all. The Blair White debate, I was on. I bet I could find old comments. I wonder if I can. Hold on. Let me see. Dave Rubin. No. Yeah. Blair White, Candace Owens. I wonder if I commented on
People
this.
that you hang out.
Did I? Did I comment on this video at all? Could I find my comment? Let's see. It's top. It should pop up if I commented. I thought I would have commented on this back then. Crazy. I doubt I even come close to finding it. I could scroll down a lot. And then I could probably go Artie. Artie trolls. Okay, it's just recommended videos on the side, dang. All right. I don't know if I commented on this at all. Huh. I could have swore I commented on it. Crazy that I didn't. Oh, man. Wild stuff. Anyway, we'll get back to this, though. User for the $2 says, was Candace smarter before she had babies, hormones? Nope, she's been the same. Nothing has changed about Candace Owens over the past 10 years. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. Her tactics and everything is all the same.
Owens
joke.
is
Thank
hanging
you so
out
much
with
for that,
Trump,
man.
traveling everywhere with Charlie.
Antifa just showed up to protest us eating breakfast because they're fucking losers.
Candace was also getting into trouble, into what would become a pattern of being charitable, we'll call them gaffes. The worst one came in December 2018 at a Turning Point UK event.
When you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about,
She didn't
at
go
least
over
in
the
America,
tweet,
is
though.
Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism.
Describing this years later, Candace would say the backlash to those Hitler comments literally made her sick, got her blacklisted at Fox News, and almost cost her everything.
I mean, I don't know if it was that bad at that, like, it was bad. How she should have said it is if he just wanted to make Germany great and not do a genocide, well, then obviously nobody would have had a problem with him, but that's kind of the big part. And she kind of left that part out, the whole genociding. That's probably really what did it for her, you know what I mean? But obviously, if he wasn't trying to genocide anybody, well, then he wouldn't even be that significant of a historical figure, to be honest. I don't know that he would necessarily be any different than like a normal president. Obviously, that's the whole reason why he's hated. The fact that she didn't bring that up at all and was like, well, if he just wanted to stick to Germany, it's like, no, I don't think gassing the Jews in Germany and just not bringing it to other countries is exactly good, Candace. That's kind of her big issue. Now, I wonder if that's what she meant or not, but she's never, ever, ever tried to do any kind of clarification. She just always doubled down and said she wasn't wrong. So I have to believe that she doesn't really believe that what he was doing was wrong. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Quite literally was facing a threat that everything was going to be over because how dare I say that? I have absolutely no right to say that.
Pretty bad thing to say.
Turning Point campus chapters called for her to resign, and by 2019, she was out.
And now she wants revenge. I think that's the case.
Not done. In 2019, she's picked up by PragerU, an ultra-conservative nonprofit that makes short-form videos. Candace hosts a podcast and narrates right-wing revisionist history shorts.
And now for a brief history of slavery.
After a year, she signs up with the Daily Wire, a company helmed by
Okay, that was good comedic timing right there.
Ben
I'm not gonna
Shapiro
lie.
that defined and dominated conservative media.
I'm here. I'm a conservative. I'm not apologizing.
And at Daily Wire,
Correct.
she could see where her audience was going.
Never apologize.
More extreme, more seduced by conspiracy theories. On September
That's her
1st,
entire. Dang it! Her entire MO is never apologize ever, even when you're wrong. Never apologize. That's not a good. That's not good. It's just not a good. I don't want to say character. What word am I looking for? Not character. It's not a good trait. It's not a good trait to have. That's essentially what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different word, but pretty much that. Thoughts on Andrew versus Candace debate? I will be definitely live streaming it. 100%. And I think Andrew's gonna crush her, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's how it's gonna go down. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for that, Josh Rao. I really appreciate that, man.
2023, on her own
But he's
Daily
gonna
Wire
crush
show,
her.
she told them this.
When this almost feels fraudulent, right? Oh, if I don't like the person, I'm going to just smear them. I'm going to just say that they are a Soros puppet. And then a bunch of people will believe it because a bunch of people on the internet have had their minds bent and they can't process reality.
But she kept feeding them conspiracy theories. And the Daily Wire seemed fine with that. It's easy to understand why, right? Candace, up to now, had generally followed.
Conspiracy theories on what specifically? Wait, what are you talking about? Is she trying to say that all conspiracy theories are bad? Because that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to speculate. I'm not against Candace Owens at all, even for speculating on what happened to Charlie Kirk. What I'm upset about is the fact that she makes claims about TPUSA and other people and makes no effort to actually back the claim she made. She accuses people of wrongdoing with no evidence whatsoever. That's a huge problem. That's not okay. If she wanted to come out and be like, look, I don't think that the government is telling us the whole story, and I think the government might be in on it, I would totally respect that. You know what I mean? But that's not saying, okay, these certain people definitely are in on it. This organization's in on it. I'm going to blame all these other countries. I'm going to blame and not provide a single shred of proof. That's disgusting. And that should never be tolerated. You should never, ever make a claim that you cannot back.
The unwritten rule of the right.
Thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican.
But in 2023, something happened to make Owens and many others.
Reagan was probably one of the funniest presidents we had, for sure. Just old school funny, for sure.
Break ranks, and to make some, including Owens, lean into a specific genre of conspiracy theory, the oldest one, that would be a red line for the Daily Wire.
The breaking news out.
LW saying retarded. Your hair makes you look like a broke Jesus. You is a rainbow. Wow, man. Profound. It's like poetry. Thank you.
Of Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared that Israel is in a state of war after what's being called the worst attack on the country in 50 years.
On October 7th, 2023, Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups carried out an attack on civilians in Israel and on military bases near the Gaza border. In all, more than 1,200 people, mostly civilians, were killed. Israel responded with bombs in Gaza and declared a complete siege, cutting off food, fuel, and electricity. Pundits and people ran to ideological corners. The loudest voices seemed either all for Israel or all against it. Nuance, as it often...
Well, yeah. The loudest groups are always going to be those two. What do you think they're going to be the half-foot in, half-foot out crowd that's going to be the loudest? No, because they're the ones who are unsure. They're the ones who are like, I don't know which one, there's not enough evidence, which is the crowd that most people should be in, right? Like, the crowd that people should be in is skeptical on all sides and wait till the dust to clear before we see what actually took place. There's a lot of murkiness going on right now, but the problem is, again, Candace Owens made the claim that IDF had killing fields and told us exactly what they were. There are these places where they can funnel in all these Palestinians and they hand out food to them, but they're really slaughter fields. And I was like, oh, okay. So I watched the videos about it. They're like, they use live ammo to calm people down when they start rioting. And I'm like, do they shoot anyone? No, they actually don't. And I'm like, how is it a killing field? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Well, it's a killing field because they shoot live rounds into a mountain to get people to stop fighting. So there's no killing, though? No, there's no killing. Great. I'm glad I wasted my time fact-checking all of that for Candace Owens to lie. And that's why I end up trusting the Israel side a lot more. Because every time they tell me, oh, well, there's a killing field, I go and look it up, it turns out there's not. Every time they're like, well, they bomb all these innocent children and stuff, and then you go and look, they drop leaflets and everybody clears out of the area. Because what they're doing is they're destroying the armaments and stuff that Hamas has. They're not killing the people there. So they're actually even allowing the Hamas soldiers to live, and then they're arresting them or putting them to death later. But they make sure they got the right guy, and it's like, okay, well, that's the most humane way to fight a war that I've ever seen. And they're like, well, they're not really doing that. And I'm like, okay, but I see video of them doing it. And they're like, oh, well, it's just fake. And I'm like, can you prove it's fake? Is it AI or anything? Well, no, I can't prove it's fake to you. And I'm like, good God, guys. I'm like, this is really, like, this shouldn't be so difficult. Things should not be stacked in Israel's favor. But I'm willing to admit, I might be wrong because I'm not an expert. But you've got to do better than just be like, no, you must believe this and then insult me and then not provide any evidence. That's just not good enough. Aquanote for $2 says, Candace was Shapiro's Burr-owned clown? Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely. Yeah. Candace Owens has gotten pretty owned by him, I would say, for sure. Without a doubt. Alrighty, let's see what we got here, guys.
Goes on the internet was really hard to come by. And incredibly, Candace's initial response was measured.
I find that when I can't get behind people that think it's fine because a Jewish person is dead, and because I can't get behind an individual that think it's acceptable to basically come within an inch of calling for a genocide of Muslims, it's best to remain silent, right?
Candace didn't stay silent for long. In November, she said Israel was committing a genocide. Daily Wire boss and founder Ben Shapiro, who's an observant Jew and a big supporter of Israel, called her disgraceful. They fought in public. He told her to quit, she called him unhinged, and while this workplace fight was playing out publicly, Candace's program, which was ostensibly supposed to be focused on culture, was dedicating more and more time to the war in Gaza, but also just blatant anti-Semitism, talking about sinister gangs of Jews in Hollywood and what she called DC Jews, chasing political power and trying to silence her. And in March 2024, she was out. Or as Candace put it, she was free. She started out again on her own, but what would become clear and fast is that Candace hadn't
I do like how she feels like she had to Martin Luther King that situation.
Been flung out of MAGA media as she'd outgrown it, and she was no longer content to peddle existing conspiracy theories aimed only at the left. She would create them.
Billy Mandalay says, Artie, did you manage to catch the Navajo police investigating series, Dark Winds? 1 season, slow moving but interesting. I will definitely check that out. That sounds interesting. And then I got another guy here saying, it's Blown a Haze Clouds. Get you a Head and Shoulders sponsor, Artie. I would. If they could send me just some free shampoo, okay, cool. I could knock that off my grocery list. Yeah. I will talk about them on the channel very often if they send me some freaking shampoo and I don't have to buy it anymore. Send me a full lifetime supply. That's all. We'll call it good. Oh, man, that'd be hilarious. That'd be absolutely hilarious. We'll see. Hey, we'll see what happens one day, right? I'd like to keep this channel sponsor free, realistically, though, because you guys are more than enough. I don't understand. I actually genuinely don't understand. I don't want to insult any other YouTubers or anything like that. They want to have sponsors and stuff. That's fine. But to be honest, I know for a fact when I get over 100,000 subscribers, and it'll happen one day maybe, but if I do, I don't see why I would need to do anything other than just live stream to you guys and make videos. That's more than enough for me. Unless, of course, I got demonetized on YouTube. If I got demonetized on YouTube, then maybe I would have to start doing that. But I'd rather stay ad-free. Just my opinion. The debate is this Friday. I do not know what time yet. I'm sure we will be made privy to it for sure, though.
And deploy them at her new enemies.
Andrew won't be able to get a word in. It's been a while. It's been a while since Candace Owens has debated. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. I bet she's up to her old antics, though.
September 10th, 2025. Utah Valley University. It's the first stop on Turning Point USA's fall campus tour. The setup is familiar. Charlie Kirk sitting under a white tent. A long line of people before him waiting to ask their question. Thousands of young people and fans from the area are watching from this kind of fishbowl courtyard. A graduate student and liberal TikToker named Hunter Kozak has the mic.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Utah law enforcement officials had announced they had a suspect in custody.
We got him.
Tyler Robinson, 22 years old.
Is this his favorite shirt, Candace? First photo they ever showed us of Tyler Robinson. Very first one. Is that his favorite shirt? And even hearing the gunshot, I'm sure the gunshot there that we heard, it didn't sound like the one. So I wonder if they kind of edited that in there. They played it because they thought it was dramatic. It sucks, but it's what these guys got to do. Yeah. No matter what, yeah, that crack is just, it's too much. I'm just going to move on from it because I don't even want to think about it right now. Today's a really, really good day. And I can't even believe it's almost been a year, but I'm going to stop with that. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the only way out, Mr. Jones. That's the only way we get out of this is with God's help. There's no other way out of it. That's just a fact. Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000,000%. So.
From St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
Robinson's arrest might have united a MAGA movement that had been tearing itself apart over the Epstein files and the war in Gaza. It might have provided a common enemy, a focus on the lefty posters who were joking.
It did, very briefly, it did.
About Kirk's death, or the trans community, or Antifa, that the Trump administration had blamed for Kirk's murder.
We are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks.
It might have, if not for Candace Owens.
Agreed.
They would be going down the center part of town somewhere.
This is Lewis Witt, a Dallas insurance salesman. But for 15 years after the Kennedy assassination, Witt was just known as Umbrella Man. It was one of dozens of details from the scene that journalists and the public poured over from that day. Details that when zoomed in on and questioned, seemed strange. A man standing, watching Kennedy's motorcade, right about the spot where Kennedy is shot. He's holding a black umbrella, but there's no rain. Skeptics leapt on the Umbrella Man. Some theorized that he'd opened his umbrella to signal a gunman. Others got more creative. One JFK truther who went on to publish a newsletter called the Grassy Knoll Gazette imagined that the umbrella had hidden a kind of weapon, a dart launcher, that shot Kennedy so a CIA gunman could finish the job. Witt came forward in 1978 after his identity was revealed by a Dallas newspaper.
Why were you carrying an umbrella that day?
Actually, I was going to use this umbrella to heckle the president's motorcade.
Like most conspiracy theories, this one had a much less memorable explanation. It was a jab at Kennedy's father, who as ambassador to Great Britain before World War II, had supported an appeasement policy with Hitler.
Has Exhibit 405 ever contained a gun or weapon of any sort?
This umbrella?
Yes.
No.
In a 1967 New Yorker column, John Updike considered the Umbrella Man, alongside the other people and details conspiracy theorists had squinted over. He wrote, quote, "We wonder whether a genuine mystery is being concealed here, or whether any similar scrutiny of a minute section of time and space would yield similar strangenesses, gaps, inconsistencies, warps, and bubbles in the surface of circumstance." And so it went with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Internet sleuths treated every person in the crowd as a potential suspect or co-conspirator.
We need to look into these umbrella boys, like these boys that showed up and were like huddling under an umbrella.
The content came so fast.
Okay, did you catch that? I'll show you in slow motion. The security guy in the blue and Charlie's bodyguard in the tent looked at their watch simultaneously.
There was a significant number of young men wearing maroon shirts.
First here.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. They're a minority in the crowd.
Then here. Then here. And
it's
it
crazy.
hits the back of his skull.
They all became side characters in an alternative theory. People who call themselves citizen journalists took the videos from multiple angles, slowed them down, and zoomed in to dissect and analyze facial expressions and hand movements from the growing list of crowdsourced suspects, and mark them up with red circles and arrows that, together, are supposed to add up to something. Same as the JFK conspiracy theorists, just working much, much faster and chasing the instant payouts from social media platforms. Stephen Prochaska studies how this kind of thing happens, how people online collaborate to interpret events and create narratives to explain them. People in academia call it participatory misinformation or collective sense-making.
When we are trying to understand anything that we don't understand initially, we're uncertain, something's ambiguous, something's new or novel, and so we don't understand these things in isolation.
This guy's egg-shaped head is shaped just like my egg-shaped head. Not even kidding. That's crazy. Oh man, this like my hair really covers up my egg for sure. I got a whole egg noodle here. It's wild.
The collective sense-making process does involve these crowds of people coming together trying to understand something, but in practice, there are some people who just have more influence within a particular community. There are people whose almost entire livelihoods are based off of navigating this attention economy.
In other words, there's a hierarchy, and in this case, one person sits at the top. Since Charlie's death, I've watched nearly every episode of Candace's show.
There's a reason why they all call her the queen. Putting that out there. You know what's funny is, when has anybody referenced like Erica Kirk is the queen, by the way? But all of her fans call her a queen. Interesting. Just a little tidbit I want to throw out there.
I know. Nearly every day of the week, in between ads for conservative branded moisturizers and beef subscription boxes and crisis pregnancy centers, Candace pulls up her conspiracy board and spins a new yarn about who might be implicated. Every episode gets millions of views. Here, in her own words, edited for clarity, is her loose theory of the Charlie Kirk
I wouldn't say 1.1 million is millions of views. That's still 1 million.
assassination.
He was facing financial threats over his shifting stance on Israel. We have to explore every lead because the feds are not. They are implicated in this cover-up. Charlie's wife is at the helm of the company. The reality is that you're most likely to be murdered by someone you know. I think we can all readily dismiss the repeated lie that Tyler Robinson confessed to his crime. This is a setup. Tyler was a patsy. I maintain that. This is not going to be the JFK story. I'm going to figure out exactly what happened, and I'm getting very close, against all odds.
Candace's videos are not as coherent as this edit. She digresses to dreams and Satan and time travel and Japan. It's a...
Let's see. Fox McCloud for the 5 says, I made the same parallels to JFK and 9/11 to explain how conspiracies are born. Absolutely. Absolutely. If that plane had only missed JFK. No, I'm kidding. No, for real. That's were there umbrella people at 9/11? I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I understand. There's definitely more similarities than, that specifically. But, that would actually be really interesting. I didn't know that 9/11 really shared that many parallels, though. Or is it just a few parallels that I probably know, like, maybe I don't know all of them. Maybe I don't know hardly any of them at all. I don't know. I'll definitely have to do that. Text Motherbird says I'll have to jump over to Gary's to mod, see you in a bit. Hey, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Take a sponsor, use cash to buy ads, grow channel. Yeah, that could be a way to go. I don't know. I like the organic growth though. I'm definitely gonna see, where this takes me for sure. I'll never say never to anything, but I just don't want to in this current moment. I don't know. I just like being the on-the-ground guy, On the ground, talking with the chat. You know what I mean? Enjoying it for now. I don't know if I want to turn this into, like, a big business or just, like, doing all that. Oh, the dance. Yeah, okay. So the dancing Jews, lunacy. Yeah, absolutely. Is that the only thing, though? I don't know. Thank you so much for that, too, Fox McCloud. Thank you so much for that, too, user. And also thank you for that previous 5 there as well, Fox McCloud. I really appreciate that.
Lot. And the episodes don't really make sense on their own, but together they paint this picture. Israel, billionaires, corrupt US government, greedy turning point, all conspiring to eliminate Charlie Kirk because, she says, he had finally broken free of those who controlled him. It is worth saying, again, this is a story for which there is no evidence, has never been any evidence. And even as Candace promises she is getting closer to some proof, some witness, some break in the case, it never arrives.
Right.
Now, a daily show is a big lift, and Candace only has a few employees, but she has a stable of volunteers. part of what she calls the Candace Intelligence Agency. It is a cottage industry of
You really should show the Make America Candace Again hat. That's way better.
Conspiracy theorists focus just on this case. Candace put it like this.
We are all partners in this group project to figure out what actually happened on September 10th.
Candace sits atop a network of online creators who feed off, amplify, and ultimately make money off each other. I mapped it out like this. Every time Candace referred to another creator or piggybacked on their content, I put them on a list. Then I watched their content, and when they referred to another creator's theory or piggybacked on that, I put that person on the list too. It's not complete, but I think it's a useful data set for understanding this network. The creators on this list are podcasters, legal experts, gun enthusiasts, social media influencers, and a few people who really came out of nowhere. Each have
all orbiters. This is a great image of orbiters right here. This just shows
their own pet theory. This decentralized media landscape is how influencers collaborate, how they build an audience, and how they are monetizing a complex new conspiracist universe. Okay, so imagine that Candace Owens is the sun. She provides the gravitational pull that keeps the entire Who Killed Charlie Kirk universe alive.
Yeah, we know what orbiters were.
Her YouTube channel
we
alone
get the gist.
sits at 6 million
We're not
subscribers.
dumb.
Every episode gets at least 1 million views, and each post is a growth spurt for her channel and the smaller ones that she mentioned. You've got Ian Carroll, a conspiracy theorist and filmmaker known for blaming 9/11 on the Jews, and who early on blamed Israel for Kirk's death.
You would normally not think to look at Israel, which is like, Charlie is like the biggest Israel supporter ever. But when you
I actually didn't know he had a lazy eye. Huh, interesting. Aussie D123 for the $2 says, imagine walking around with one of those hats on. Yeah, it's worse than a tinfoil hat. I would rather wear a tinfoil hat than wear a Candace Owens hat any day. Yeah, that's pretty wild, to be honest, in my opinion. Yeah.
Understand the circumstances and the context, they immediately become the most likely.
Jimmy Dore, a stand-up comedian, was early to tell his audience that they shouldn't believe what they were being told
Jimmy Dore is an extreme leftist from the Young Turks. That's what you need to know about Jimmy Dore.
about Kirk's death.
So JFK was killed by a magic bullet, but Charlie Kirk was hit with a miracle bullet. What are the odds?
Candace has been on both of their shows and vice versa. In effect, cross-pollinating their brands and widening their reach. Now with the mid-sized planets. They don't have an audience that Candace needs. Instead, they supply the fresh content to feed the overarching narrative. Guys like Baron Coleman, a lawyer and a former radio host, whose show Owens calls the after party to hers. Coleman is a just asking questions guy. The word allegedly hangs on his...
The weird thing about it is, though, is his view count and the amount of people that he has in his live streams are equivalent to his subscriber count. He gets 100% ratio. It's not possible. It's not possible to do that, so I don't know how he manages that. It's very, very, very strange.
Sign behind him in his home office. His value comes in the holes he pokes in Tyler Robinson's criminal case. Now, Coleman's pet theory, and it's maybe the most popular one, is that the rifle that prosecutors allege was used to shoot Kirk couldn't have done so because that gun was too powerful not to cause an exit wound.
The case was over. Tyler Robinson.
Ridiculous argument. That's all we used in World War I and World War II for the most part. And how many decapitations are well known off of that? None. None. Like the amount of people that shot each other with 30-06, especially in World War I, ridiculous. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, not going to get convicted. Because that neck wound is so inconsistent with a gunshot.
Now, the prosecution hasn't entered an autopsy into evidence, but people close to Kirk, including his head of security, have said that the bullet was shot from a rooftop above, moved down, and fragmented inside Kirk's body. Coleman, without evidence, posits that instead of a gun, Kirk may have been killed by an explosive device, hidden in a microphone or a necklace. Then we've got Elizabeth Lane. She's smaller than Coleman, but a rising star.
Journalist Elizabeth.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, no, that's just ridiculous, right? There's no smoke from the explosion. Sure, nobody falls for that. Nobody's buying that. Nobody is picking up what you're putting down there. It's ridiculous.
Lane, that's the one who has been positing that Erica Kirk is a psychopath.
Lane's theory of the case is that Robinson is a patsy, likely the victim of a secret CIA mind control operation who was set up by his roommate. Lane hails from the former Soviet Republic of Georgia and was, until recently, an actress and a model. But sometime in 2024, she started calling herself an investigative journalist and hosting programs on Unified TV. That's a streaming platform owned by a wellness guru who sells, among many other products, recliners that he claims can heal all sorts of ailments. Lane was kind of an unknown, attracting only the attention of fact-checkers and disinformation researchers for her pro-Kremlin dispatches and unqualified support for Putin around the war in Ukraine. But after
wow, look at that. Who's surprised?
Kirk's death, Lane went hard on conspiracy theories around Charlie Kirk. A high-profile interview with Tucker Carlson.
I won't say anything on that.
I do want to ask you, it bothers me a lot, and I know it bother you too, and I know that you probably don't sleep because you think about this stuff. Who killed Charlie Kirk?
I mean, there's a man in custody.
Based in Utah, Lane became a fixture at the Tyler.
Even Tucker was like, oh, this lady's insane. She sucks.
Robinson hearings.
Investigative journalist Elizabeth Lane is not giving up on this story. She's been on the ground in Utah connecting the CIA dots, the three-letter agency dots and connections.
Lane isn't the only person to come from nowhere. There's Billy Webb, a Candace Reply girl who I've sat behind in Tyler Robinson hearings. Billy was a flight attendant, an adult content creator, and a van life influencer on TikTok before that. And now she's a popular Kirk truther.
There's a 22-year-old kid up against the death penalty for something that he didn't do, and I'm not going to stop talking about it.
Then you move out even further
That is
from
a
the
crazy
sun,
claim.
and you get to your
Something he
niche
didn't do.
creators. Now, these are the architects of a very specific kind of content. Content that informs the other creators, and sometimes will eventually make it all the way upstream. There's that.
Oh, Patriot, you don't know about Elizabeth Lane and Mitch Snow literally yelling at each other on X? It's so funny. It is so funny. Elizabeth Lane straight up said that Mitch Snow has zero evidence whatsoever. Zero evidence. It's crazy to back any of the claims he made about seeing Erica Kirk. That's Elizabeth Lane on X melting down about that. So, yeah, we got the Candace crew. They're completely fighting and malfunctioning. It's amazing.
Back to Gregorio, aka Wolves and Finance. He makes content that alleges fiscal impropriety by Turning Point.
Anyone who knew about the political activity and was involved in the cover-up would go to prison. And yes, that includes Erica Kirk.
De Gregorio's content, presented with no actual evidence, has fueled the Turning Point was in on it conspiracy theories. Turning Point's lawyers have sent him a cease and desist
Wolf
letter.
seems like
I'm looking for a lawyer.
To me, but
Mom and gossip vloggers who'd previously covered the Amber Heard trial and Blake Lively's legal drama turned their talents toward Erica Kirk.
I genuinely started to consider whether Erica is a pathological liar, has some sort of psychological disorder, is a variant from another timeline, or is a victim of MK Ultra. Like, I know the last two options sound pretty extreme, but like that's genuinely where my mind started to go, because I honestly just can't make sense of the things that she says.
yeah, if you can't make sense of it, that might not necessarily be a her problem. That might be a you problem, because it's pretty simple. She made perfect sense with exactly what she said. But this Nisi or Nisi or whatever, I don't know. Maybe she just has a hard time understanding English.
Nisi, a Canadian YouTuber who started out like Candace, making videos assailing wokeness. And since Kirk's assassination, after she started posting about Erica, her channel's subscribers have grown by 50%.
YouTubers do not get nearly enough credit for their amazing discoveries. One such YouTuber is Nisi.
An astounding number of conspiracist creators have shot into the carcasses of various dead animals.
We got the pork shoulder, we got the stew, and then we got these 2 liters behind it.
We're going to shoot a cow femur, and then to make it even harder, we're going to slap on a huge slab of beef.
Hickory smoked young
ground
turkeys.
beef. He put a thing of ground beef. Is that really ground beef? Was that? That's chuck roast. Why a chuck roast? The softest part on the butt there. Okay.
Slap on a huge slab of beef.
Hickory smoked young turkeys, but they're a lot thicker than a neck.
I do have a moose leg.
Chris Martenson, a former economist.
Was this even allowed to be shown on YouTube? Are they going to get mad at me? Because they didn't show the firearm when any of the shots went off at all. So I think we're in the clear on that. They didn't show them, I don't think. YouTube, don't be mad. This is completely protected. This is in a MSNBC up yours. Don't Better not be. And I didn't know it was coming either, so up yours.
He shot at pig carcasses for his videos, theorizing the
I'll
bullet
just skip
came
through
from
the rest of
another
them.
shooter.
Yeah, we get it. Okay.
This outer galaxy have been more determined, or obsessed, as he puts it, than John Bray. Bray is an Oklahoma farmer who, with his wife, sells products like beef tallow and kombucha. He is essential as the original architect of the exploding microphone theory. Bray watched Kirk's assassination and focused on the wireless microphone attached to Kirk's shirt. What if it wasn't just a microphone, Bray theorized, but a little bomb? Bray tested his pet theory with experiments out of his garage. He built a tiny explosive device, encased it in a pig carcass, and...
Is that legal for him to do and film? Maybe he's an expert in this. I don't know. Let's see. Fox McCloud for the $2 says not Valhalla. Oh, yeah, Valhalla. He's kind of part of it, isn't he? Yeah. Valhalla ended up shooting a frozen piece of meat. So when the bullet hits the tip of it, the whole thing explodes no matter what, because he doesn't understand how physics work. So that was his whole thing. She kind of left that out, but whatever. It didn't need to be brought up anyway. Like, it's just so dumb.
Set it off. He said the wound matched Kirk's.
And then you see the full rectangle kind of area on it.
As he explained on Kirk Truther podcast,
Yeah, how did that whole rectangle end up happening not to his shirt at all?
Bray fed Grok and Claude a stack of forensic papers, uploaded video of the assassination, and then told the chatbots to act as forensic experts. The result, Bray says, prove a, quote, coordinated multi-source event. These creators are singular and symbiotic.
Just completely
Over the
relying
last
on
year,
AI?
they
Okay.
have grown together, many doubling and tripling their audiences.
Yeah.
And to be very, very clear, this, for most of them, is their full-time job.
Consider signing up for a membership on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month.
It's not mine, but, you know, it is theirs.
Your support helps me to keep making these videos.
There is a whole lot of money to be made on YouTube and downstream by pushing these conspiracy theories.
There
For
sure
Candace,
is.
There's the membership. For $12 a month, Club Candace gets you into a private forum. And the donation she asks to fund her legal fights, but which the small print clarifies she can...
I'll have you know, I'm not part of any group chats or anything. I just have all the people who pay me that I talk to in one gigantic, large forum/group chat. Putting that out there, by the way.
Can spend any way she likes. And then there's the live audience paying her in real time with super chats. Those are messages that viewers buy to get their comment penned up high so that Candace might read it on air. But for Candace, the big money, it comes from ads.
Here's the deal. I'm telling you this right now. Chat might get big enough one day for me to not be able to read every single chat throughout chat. In fact, it's like that right now. So I can't exactly get to everybody's chat in chat. But I'll tell you this. I will never miss a super chat, at least on purpose. And I will make up for it the next day. By the way, GN, I think I already told you, but I just want to make sure. Those 2 super chats you sent me last week, I am sorry for missing them. Very sorry for missing them. I think I've already said that on a couple of live streams, but I just want to make sure 100% you know that, 100% that I did not mean to miss that at all. Anyway, BS Zionist, Mark, wait, what? Did I miss something? I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Ads. It's not clear just how much Candace makes per ad. According to Bloomberg, top conservative podcasts, including Candace's, can command anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 from reading a single ad. Candace isn't the only conspiracist making a living off Kirk's death. Baron Coleman, the host of the Candace After Party, he quit his job as a lawyer this year to be a full-time podcaster.
Yeah, not surprised.
Friday, January 2nd. I informed my full-time job that I was no longer going to be an employee there.
Yeah, I've got 500 people here, not 70,000. Okay. Yeah, it seems so. Thanks for pointing that out.
Now, Coleman streams 3 or 4 hours at a stretch, about 5
I don't
days
want to
a week.
upset anybody.
And a good chunk of those hours...
If anybody sends money, they need to be acknowledged. They need to be acknowledged. I will get every single super chat no matter what. I don't care how many subscribers I have. That is crazy that someone would be like, I might read it. I can't respect that. In my opinion, I can't.
Is just Coleman reading super chats out loud. $5 here, $200 there.
I didn't realize they were sending you money with these. I didn't even see the dollars signs next to these things. Wow, look at you guys.
Yeah, that's so we don't run ads. They're paying me to not run ads.
According to Playboard, a
paying me to
YouTube
not run
analytics
ads.
platform
That's-
that counts
okay.
super chats, a single one of his streams can pull in as much as $6,000. In all, he's earned about $350,000. On top
Probably.
of that, of course, Coleman sells merch and a $9.99 a month membership that unlocks private streams. Not bad for a father of 8 who told me by text he isn't chasing it. I'm not out to be a new media star, he said. Even the creators with
But he is a media star. Don't lie. I would love to get big. Absolutely. I would love to have 300,000 subscribers, and I would love to be an entertainer. I've always wanted to be an entertainer, for the most part, you know? Whether it be through guitar or something like that, I like having a good time with people. You know? I mean, for the fact that he would come out and be like, oh, I'm not chasing it. Bullcrap. That's absolute bullcrap. He's just so full of crap, it's ridiculous. I'm chasing this Candace Owens stuff for 2 reasons. 1, it does actually get a lot of viewers. 2, I think she's full of crap and she needs to be stopped. I think she needs to be shown for exactly the lies that she's doing. And the fact that I can grow my audience by doing it is a blessing. And the fact that Baron Coleman is like, oh, I'm not trying to do that. You're so full of crap, dude. It's insane to say. If you weren't trying, you wouldn't be doing. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable that he has the gall to tell his audience that. Lying to your audience is probably one of the worst things you can do. Well, really, lying's just bad anyway. It doesn't matter the situation. But seriously, lying to your audience like that, not okay. Not okay at all. Fox McCloud for the $5 says, read this chat or you're a liar. She sells seashells by the seashore. I can do that, kind of. She sells seashells by the seashore. I used to be able to do that while whistling, but I can't do that anymore. Thank you so much for that, man. That's funny.
tiny audiences can hit gold. John Bray, that guy with the farm and the exploding mic theory, his tiny channel has a link to support this work that goes to his Blue Mountain Farm website. In early December, he starts to appear on some of the bigger truther shows, like this one, from a guy who goes by the handle Trigger Smart. The next day, Baron Coleman covers the Bray theory.
I think he's onto something here.
And then Candace gives him a shout out.
I have seen John Bray and the work that he's doing. I find it to be very compelling as well. And I have been communicating with him behind the scenes.
For John and his farm, a small miracle, a massive influx of orders and messages.
No one could have ever guessed the variables that have come together to sort of allow us to now be known really worldwide. Lately, we've had so many requests for people wanting our products across the globe.
You might have picked up that I'm not trying to debunk Candace or the creators in her orbit. Most of them rest on this overwrought innuendo and red string theories that either can't be disproved because they never state a real claim or take enormous energy to disprove. And for those, there's little payout because by the time you do, they're on to their next storyline.
Absolutely. Yep, she's spitting facts on that one, at least. Blowing Haze Cloud says, never change, Hardy. I never intend on changing. Honestly, I never intend on changing whatsoever. Not even in the slightest. I want to keep this channel like this for the most part. Maybe one day, I mean, channel formats may change. Maybe I get like a table and I get a couple of guest hosts in here or something like that. But me as a person, nah, not changing for anything. There's not enough money in the world to make me do that. Not enough money in the world. Never going to happen. Mr. Jones for $10, though, says, oops. Uh-oh. There we go. Here, have a super chat. I never do this, but Artie, you deserve it. Thank you for pushing back against this insanity. The clock is ticking down to the midterms. The country hangs on the precipice. I absolutely agree. And I'm going to start really covering a lot more of midterm stuff because it's very important. Very, very important. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for that, man. Dashing Cancer says, or for the $10 says, had to make dinner, so I'm catching up. Your laugh rocks on high speed. I bet it does. I bet high speed, it's very funny. That's great. Thank you as always for the coverage. Agreed, no plea. Let it play out. The evidence is more than most cases and speaks for itself. I agree 1,000%. Thank you so much, Dashing Cancer. I appreciate that. Alrighty. Let's see here. Jesus chat box are not forensic experts. Nope, they're definitely not forensic experts at all. Oh, here we go. Real talk to you, Jackson. What's this? You are not only a sad little pathetic pathological lying clown. No one with even a half of a brain is paying attention to you demonic Erica Kirk's do boys and girls. You want to try that again, man? I'll give you another chance to go ahead and just retype that message in English. Because I have no idea what you're talking about, man. For real? Are you trying to insult me, or was that just an accident? Huh. All right. Good try.
Follows Brandolini's law, coined back when Twitter was good, that says the amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude bigger than needed to produce it. But for Farmer John Bray's work, since it seems like the most concrete and has spread the farthest.
Did you see that exploding mic theory? Did you guys talk about that on here?
I've heard that theory, but I don't know if that makes sense.
I think the energy may be worth it, both to get the facts out there and to show what it takes for someone trained as a librarian and a journalist to get to the bottom of just one of these theories. So, first, I reached out to Josh Brunty. Josh Brunty is a professor of cyber forensics at Marshall University with a joint appointment in the Department of Criminal Justice, Criminology, and Forensic Sciences, and Department of Computer Sciences and Electrical Engineering. He serves on the editorial boards of Forensic Science International, Digital Investigation, and the Journal of Forensic Sciences, is a fellow of the Digital and Multimedia Sciences section of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences, and is the author of loads of award-winning research, including research on forensic analysis of wearable devices.
They're able to essentially generate scientific content, videos that might look credible. They might use reverse
What this collection he has back here?
projection techniques.
Are those all his medals?
That are somewhat used in the forensic community, but they're able to generate scientific terminology that make these things seem as if they're real. And then they're able to produce a website within a matter of minutes and post those analyses to that particular site.
Do you trust this website?
I'm very suspect of it.
Then I talked to a second video forensics expert who declined to go on the record because of the nature
Wasn't that Ian Carroll's website they just pulled up?
Of this story. They said there was no scenario where the types of measurement that Bray claims he was making could be made from the videos on his website. Then I emailed Gunnar Farnbeck. He's the inventor of the optical flow algorithm that Bray cites as his main method of investigation. Dr. Farnbeck said in part, quote, "I have a hard time making sense of the optical flow related claims on that site. From the parts I think I understand, it seems likely that there are enough methodological flaws that the analysis provides little evidence for or against any hypothesis at all." Then I asked an expert to analyze the audio. I sent Bray's website to Dr. Robert Marr. He's a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Montana State University, Bozeman, and author of the textbook Principles of Forensic Audio Analysis.
So here's the thing still, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for any microphone that you don't know the source of the specific mic, the exact distance away, and you also don't know exactly how that mic's timbre is going to be, that it's going to be incredibly difficult. Even, especially with clipping, it's going to be impossible to tell if that came from an explosion, a firearm, or anything else like that. And the reason why I know is due to the fact that I, do a lot of audio engineering stuff in my spare time. It's for fun. I play a lot of guitar, stuff like that, mic up cabinets. With a microphone, if you move, the timbre, the tonality, and everything like that changes. The volume gets much, much louder as I'm closer to it. Obviously, the further I get away, but it's based on doubling spaces per 3 dBs, I believe. So, this right here, this space right here up close to it will be like 3 times less loud just by doubling my distance and then doubling my distance and doubling my distance back. So it's really difficult to measure that.
He specializes in gunshot sounds. He said the audio from the Kirk shooting had the classic ballistic crack of a bullet passing by the microphone and then the pop sound of the muzzle blast from a gun. He said,
Okay, well, I guess if you're measuring like that, then that's completely different because that's two separate spikes of noise versus one explosion. So that makes sense.
Said, quote, any assertion that a microphone Mr. Kirk was wearing was somehow involved in the fatal injury would need to account for why the ballistic audio characterization is exactly aligned in time.
Yeah.
And while we're here, the speed of the bullet, Marr said, something
Yeah,
like
that's
800
fair.
meters.
Because you're not, you won't hear the crack, you won't hear the first sound at all if it's an explosion. So yeah, that's very much accurate.
Per second from his audio analysis would also rule out a handgun or palm pistol, as other conspiracy theorists have suggested.
What's the palm gun guy, Jesse? Well, the palm gun guy is a member of Charlie's security team, and it does appear that he had a palm gun and fired it at Charlie at point blank range. Here's the footage.
This guy driving around Tahlequah? Did I just see Eagles Bluff? Did he just pass Eagles Bluff there? Is for real? Is this in Tahlequah?
Charlie at point blank.
Man, that looks like a place in Tahlequah. That's really crazy. That looks exactly like Tahlequah.
Blank range. Here's the footage.
I want to know where that
Take a
guy
look at
was.
this man right here,
Crazy.
folks. This is Charlie Kirk's security guy. He appears to have a palm gun in his right hand, and he aims it at Charlie Kirk and squeezes the palm gun, firing off a round directly into Charlie Kirk's neck.
Dr. Marr declined to speak about Bray further. He said, quote, I'm sorry to say that I don't have the time or interest in going through a conspiracy theorist's claims in a step-by-step manner. My work goes from the audio evidence without need to conjure up details that are likely due to limitations of the recorded data and other faulty assumptions.
In other words, I don't know that he would be able to debunk that, just simply because of the fact all he can debunk is explosions. If it came from a palm gun, you would still hear the crack of the bullet, and you would still hear that, so he can't debunk that. I don't think it was a palm gun. I do think that guy moving like that was weird. I'm not going to lie. But I just don't think it would be a palm gun because there was no aiming, and to get it directly into the throat and risk not hitting somebody else, that's such a massive risk. That's such a massive risk. It would be like a 1 in 10 shot that he doesn't miss. Because it doesn't have any kind of rifling. There's no way that it would have enough time to be able to shoot straight. It's just not possible with it being that kind of weapon. So, there's that. Here, let's see here. Let's see, it's Nikiak. Okay. If you idiots are talking about me, I'm a paraplegic that just took some hits off a pipe for pain. Hopefully it's understandable. No, I was talking about the other lady a while ago that said exactly, I read her tweet out like exactly word for word. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know. Keep the ad homs to a minimum, buddy, or you're not going to be in here for long.
Finally, I tried to talk to John Bray to check what I found and ask him what I was missing about his theory. He declined to be interviewed, as did most of the Kirk conspiracists mentioned in Candace's network.
Duh.
And really, there's no reason for them to talk to me or any other journalist at all. Their audiences are loyal and growing. Their
Correct.
universe is expanding, with new creators joining all the time, just hoping to break through.
It is a great day. We made it to Candace. We made it on Candace's show.
Is that the goal?
You have deep connections with Candace, so please make sure you get this video to her.
Candace needs to see this.
Stop telling content creators someone already.
It's every one of these people just trying to piggyback to get to fame. That's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. I spent nearly 10 years building this channel, and I've never tried to piggyback off of anybody to get an audience. If I got an audience, I wanted to do it by my own means to build my audience. I didn't want to take it from anybody and just all that stuff. I don't really ask. Actually, I don't think I've ever asked anybody for help other than I've asked some big YouTubers for help in the past to help with like channel issues, not to help me get subscribers, not to help me get bigger or anything like that. Just things like, oh, YouTube demonetized me for 2 years straight in a row. You know, things along those lines. That's what I've asked for. I have never asked for anybody to be like, hey, can you shout me out and get me like 100,000 subscribers? No, I've never asked for that because, first of all, I don't want to annoy people by doing that. That would be very rude for me to do. Every one of these people, look at their eyes. Look at that. They're just like, please, make me famous, please. I want to be famous lady without having to build anything or do a show or anything like that. I'll just upload 3-second TikTok videos. And it's like, you're not doing anything by doing that. And all you're doing is trying to gas up this whole entire conspiracy theory to service yourself. And these people, they just don't get it. It's disgusting. It's very disgusting.
Covered that. We got it. We have to keep covering to keep this story alive.
I've reported on conspiracy theories for a long time now. And the question I got a lot was, why do you focus so much on the political right? But it wasn't really ever a choice. While there are plenty of conspiracy theories on the left, the right was, with a few exceptions, just better at this game. They were more...
Well, it's because we don't jump into every single thing as a conspiracy most of the time. The people on the right, that's not where just all conspiracies live. Believe it or not, 9 times out of 10, it was actually leftists that were doing the conspiracies. Most things were from the left. But nowadays, the right's gotten a little bit more coverage of it. Just happens that way. But guess what? When people were doing all this conspiracy stuff, 9/11 and all that, do you think they were calling Bush, the ringleader of 9/11 and all that? Think they were considered right-wing people?
willing to embrace conspiracy theories as a means to a political end. Charlie Kirk certainly was.
You can see the white population collapse in LA. That's intentional. They've wanted it that way. They want us to believe that this was a political attack.
That's not a conspiracy theory, though. That's just a fact. You can see the graph. It literally, it explains everything Charlie just said.
Against Paul Pelosi.
About 2 9/11s have already died of people that have died since getting the vaccine. But it could be 10 or 20 times beyond that because some people might not be registering these adverse reactions.
That's not a conspiracy theory at all, though. That's just what happened.
And I'm just saying reportedly have died. I just want to be very clear about this.
And maybe because of that, when conspiracy theorists like Candace Owens grabbed hold of Kirk's assassination, when they turned on Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA and Trump effectively, a lot of people felt like, well, perhaps they had it coming.
Jen, I had your same feelings with Candace. Like, I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because I kept agreeing with her. Enemy? Yeah. But I kept being like, this is Candace Owens. You can't.
It was something I brought up to Jack Posobiec, Kirk's regular podcast
she's using
co-host.
the exact same microphone I'm using right there. You see that, guys? Heck yeah. Check this out. Oops. It on now. Oh, man. Not gonna let me. Hi-ya. Look at that. There we go. Take that. Rode is king. Rode is king of the audio. No, it's not king, really. But, I mean, it's good. It's definitely good.
Who famously pushed Pizzagate and a million other conspiracy theories since. I was at Turning Point's America Fest in December. I was trying to report on the future of Kirk's organization, but I found attendees preoccupied with the conspiracy theories about Kirk's death. So was Posobiec.
To the haters out there, no, these Robin Simpers, and that's what I'm going to call them, the Robin Simpers. No, Tyler Robinson did this. He did this. If we're ever going to get through this personally, let alone...
I believe he did it. But again, I'm willing to be fair and be like, hey, let's wait for the trial.
The movement, the organization, etc.
Or his plea deal, whatever.
You got to start with that. You just got to start with that.
Now he was asking for compassion, for common sense. He was asking people to believe the official narrative about Tyler Robinson and to leave a grieving widow alone. But what Posobiec should well know, and what Turning Point was learning, is that conspiracy theories don't stop. The theories build, and the collection of actors who must be in on it just grows.
TPUSA, the state government of Utah, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. military, foreign militaries, they're all involved.
By far. And
what's the problem is they don't have any evidence to suggest that. I'm all for conspiracy theories. I love conspiracy theories. Alex Jones had the best conspiracy theories. But you know what Alex Jones always provided back in the day? He provided a lot of proof. A lot of proof. Look at his Bohemian Grove. That whole thing that everybody said was a conspiracy and not really happening. And then he infiltrates the Bohemian Grove. And he films it all, and it's exactly what he said it was. Like, just, there are plenty of them out there that get proven to be true. The reason why the right wing got lumped in more with the conspiracy theorists is because the right wing was actually proving conspiracy theories to be true. Unlike the left wing that would just come up with crap. And that's really the big difference. Now, unfortunately, there's something going on with Alex Jones. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they have on him. But it involved him splitting from Owen Schroyer, who's also contradicting himself constantly. And I could see them in real time contradicting himself. Like, Owen Schroyer sitting there saying that he was against Trump bombing those 7 nations back in his first term. And then you go back and you see Owen Schroyer doing nothing but promoting and celebrating and defending Donald Trump for doing exactly that. And it's like, why would you say you were against it? And then we can clearly see that he was not. Kyle was in on it for sure, but he wasn't the athlete on the roof and inside the garage. Who is Kyle? What are you talking about? You're talking about the Jew from South Park? Now that would be funny.
Surprisingly, some of the worst conspiracy theories have come for Kirk's widow, Erica. Since his death and since she took over as CEO of Turning Point, there's been a constant stream of commentary and content mocking and criticizing both Charlie Kirk and Erica. Viral AI songs.
Yeah, the whole, like, we are Charlie Kirk thing, yeah. The Drewski, yep, and then that, okay.
Here is another.
No
Public
copyright.
attempts to stop the conspiracy theories have only seemed to make things worse.
Yeah,
I
Lance
asked Turning
was the
Point
boyfriend.
USA for an interview to find out what they were dealing with and what they saw as the path forward. They declined to go on the record, but they invited me to their Phoenix headquarters where I sat down with Erica and other leadership. They spent hours with me. They answered all my questions. What I saw was an organization struggling to weather a storm that would have been unthinkable a year ago, struggling to grieve, struggling to navigate near constant threats and harassment, and wondering each day what false storyline Candace Owens will come up with next. In April, Turning Point USA canceled Erica's appearance at the University of Georgia, citing serious threats to her safety. San Antonio police arrested a 26-year-old in May for making terroristic threats against Erica and an upcoming women's conference.
Correct.
Before Kirk's assassination, Turning Point had a war chest full of cash and political capital and was ready to spend it on the midterms. Kirk was pulling in $85 million a year, mostly from his hard-won Rolodex of anonymous wealthy donors. And while Kirk's death inspired a surge in followers and new funds, it remains to be seen if Erica Kirk can pull Turning Point through the conspiracy storm.
What is the vision for Turning Point USA? Aside from the elephant in the room about my husband, our mission is the same.
Before Kirk's assassination, Turning Point was mobilizing young conservatives to win races large and small. Now it's tied to J.D. Vance's 2028 hopes after Erica Kirk endorsed him. And TPUSA's early midterm results have been a mixed bag. Its candidates have won a lot of state primaries, but it also poured money into board races for Arizona's biggest utility in April and lost.
We beat Turning Point USA.
Beyond elections, Charlie Kirk was trying to hold together a MAGA coalition on the brink of civil war. Now Erica Kirk has to do it without him, supporting Trump while honoring her husband's opposition to an unpopular war waged by the US and Israel against Iran. Meanwhile, conspiracists are playing back Kirk's own videos, including one questioning the assassination attempt on Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Was this a setup? What's going on here?
As proof that if he were still alive, he'd be questioning his death right alongside them. And maybe he would.
If he were still alive, no, he wouldn't, because he wouldn't be dead. What are you talking about? That's a crazy claim. Man, her pupils, though, bother me. They are huge. They are absolutely massive. It's freaking me out. Like, I don't know if it's just because of how close the camera is, or maybe it's her glasses or something, but it's freaking me out a little bit.
What's clear is that, at least online, without a North Star, Turning Point is being drowned out by the same conspiracists that Charlie Kirk used to command.
All right, you guys, straight to jail, There's
that
for questioning
line.
At least Erica. I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode.
When I sat down with Erica Kirk, she told me the conspiracy theories and lies from Owens and her minions were hurtful and frustrating, but that she'd already lived through the worst thing that can happen to her. So she'd weather this.
Fair enough, for sure.
Prosecutors say they have DNA evidence, multiple confessions, and videos showing Robinson's guilt. Erica and Turning Point are hoping that a trial will come soon and that Robinson will be found guilty, and they're hoping that an open televised trial will quiet the conspiracy theories. I'm not so sure. It'll be easy for conspiracists to fold in the courts and evidence presented by prosecutors into their stories.
Our courts are completely compromised. Our courts want nothing to do with this.
The JFK conspiracy theory was the defining one of America's 20th century, and this may be the defining one of the 21st. Candace Owens' conspiracy theorists love the comparison.
Any other similarities between the JFK assassination and the Charlie Kirk one?
About 5 million.
Yeah.
Israel's basically the only power capable of such an assassination of JFK and Charlie Kirk.
From JFK.
Israel wouldn't have even been in a good position whatsoever in 1963. They were in one of the worst possible positions they could have been economically and land control and everything else. They were half of them was owned by Jordan at that time, right? Like, that was a really not good time to be Israel in the 60s. So I don't know how they could have I don't know why they would even suggest Israel at that point in time would have been the only one capable of doing such a thing. They were one of the worst positions that they probably ever had been in since becoming Israel in 1948. The 60s was a pretty rough time for them. So, yeah, I doubt they would have had the capability of doing anything to JFK. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have my doubts just based on how they were in the 60s. They had a lot of land to be able to fight and take from, I think it was 2 different countries that they had to pretty much fight off to get their land. But was it just Jordan? Who all did have to fight off during 60s? Let's see. They had the 6-Day War in June of 1967 to secure those areas. Israel fought off a coalition of 3, not 2. Okay. So it was Egypt, Jordan, and Syria that they all had to fight back in order to reclaim their land, the West Wall, the Wailing Wall, and all that stuff, to claim all that. They had to fight those 3 countries off while also having to take out JFK. Like, it just wasn't a good time for them. They weren't set up very well to be capable of doing that, in my opinion.
To MLK, now to CJK. This is, in my opinion, an undeniable state killing.
Why would an official story be enough to stop them? And why would they start caring about who gets hurt? The Candace Owens conspiracy machine shouldn't just worry Turning Point or MAGA. Anyone can become cannon fodder. It doesn't matter which side you're on. And the danger from this new era of conspiracy theory isn't just that we'll be duped by misinformation, but that we'll lose our sense of direction, that we'll give up on trying to make sense of what's real and what's not, and blindly trust strongmen or follow snake oil saleswomen who frame everything as a lie and a threat. How far can we go down the rabbit hole before we're lost there?
I'm going to skip that ending because very much music and probably copyright. What did you guys think about all this, though? So, for the most part, I think it was a pretty good interview. There was a lot of stuff, obviously, I disagreed with in here, especially calling Charlie Kirk like a conspiracy theorist. He wasn't a conspiracy theorist. He was a conspiracy truther. A little bit different because he only reported on the stuff that had significant evidence and things that were genuinely unexplainable. So I wouldn't say that he was necessarily a conspiracy theorist because there were many conspiracy theories out there that he flat out rejected. So I don't think that makes him necessarily a good conspiracy theorist. But when conspiracies got proven true, like, I don't know, the big bad guy's island. Yeah, not so much of a conspiracy theory now, is it? As much as it is a conspiracy fact. Just pointing that out there. So, I don't know. It's still a leftist. She's going to slant this in the left's favor no matter what. What I think is going on, this is my opinion. I think the woke left is taking over a lot. And this lady's job is to bring back more of a, not sensible left, but more of a moderate left compared to what's going on right now with communism. I feel like she's trying to go back to the social democrat type things, which are still terrible, But right now, I got to say, I would rather handle a social democrat than a democratic socialist. Just putting that out there, even though they're pretty much the same thing. The social democrat knew that going full socialist was bad. At least bad optically, even if they actually believed in it. So, there is that, for sure. Alrighty, guys. I am going to go ahead. I think I'm going to cut a little early after this, because Paramount Tactical is now live with Gil and Jared. So I think everyone needs to go over there.
The boogeyman,
we're going to we're going to raid this chat.
Just a very
We've got more people
exercise
in our chat right now than they have in theirs. They have 350 watching now. Let's change that. Let's get them to 700 plus, because why not? So here's amount. Paramount Tactical's link. PVD posted live, shows 9 a.m. No way. It's going to be streaming 9 a.m. on Friday? Woo! Are you for real? Or 9 p.m.? I don't know why they would do 9 a.m. That is a silly time, in my opinion. That is a very silly time. Let me see. PBD. Well, let's see. Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson, the Charlie Kirk debate. August 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You're right. 9 a.m. Central Time. That is crazy. That is crazy, crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, we may just, I'll talk with Jen about that. I don't know if she'll want to go live at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. her time. I'll talk with her about it. We'll see what happens there. We could get an early live stream going. Why not? Or maybe we just wait and we'll show the show later on in the day. I don't know. But yeah, 10 a.m. is a terrible time for a Friday. If they did this Saturday, be a much better time. But wow, that early in the morning. Ugh. Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake, in my opinion. Alrighty, guys, real quick. I'm going to read off all the super chats that were sent. And for a special thanks to everybody, if I could. There we go. Get that going. Alrighty, before we get out of here, guys, please make sure that you like and subscribe. That's really all I ask for, really. Memberships is open for people if they want to, but otherwise, just likes and subscribes. Get this number all the way up to 40,000 here. That'll be crazy. That'll be crazy, guys. I can't believe how close you guys have gotten me. I'm blown away. Thank you all so much. Alrighty, GN for the 40. We'll go with that for sure. Pat the Plumber for 20. We got Debbie Rock for 2. The Whole Truth for 2. Megan, we have absolutely love your name, for 136. Thank you so much for that. The Whole Truth for another 2. We have NCHD82 for $20. We got Chicken Toes for $20. We've got Just Me for 10. Judy Juris for 10. Maverick Reigns for 10. Lila Rose for 13 Canadian sorries. I appreciate you. We have Pixel Minute Games for sending 10 gift memberships. Thank you so much for that. And welcome to the new members. Hope you guys enjoy it for sure. You get these videos, or the videos I make, you get them about an hour or two before they come out. So that's a cool perk. Aquanote for $10. Better Tomorrow for $50. Maverick Reigns for the 5. Kelly McKinnon for the 50. Thank you guys so much. Genuinely, thank you all. Nurse Terry for 5. Told you I'd memorize it. Maverick Reigns for 5. Fox McCloud for 5. User for 2. Josh Rao for 3. Aquanote for 2. Fox McCloud for 5. User for 2. Fox McCloud again for 2. Aussie D for 2. Fox McCloud again for 7. Thank you so much, man. Mr. Jones for 10. Dash and Cancer for 10. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's raid this chat. Let's absolutely send them on in to Paramount here. Let me full screen this so you all can see what you're doing, because we are going to harass them. Kill them. Go kill these people. Go. No, seriously, go in there, raid them, subscribe to them if you're not already subscribed to Paramount Tactical. This is going to be a great show tonight, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm in here already. I'll just be like, yo. There we go. That's a crazy innovative way to say hello, right? There we go. Y'all go check them out, and I'll see you guys here in the next video, which I will be live with Paramount Tactical, or I will be live on Paramount Tactical tomorrow. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.